Okay, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of June the 4th, 2021. Let's have a general discussion about Alita, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the desired sequels. I am your host, the Muskogee Creek from Denver, Colorado in the United States. And I have a guest here, Take On Any. How's it going, Take On Any?
Really good. Thanks, Creek.
Cool. And Take On Any, you're also from Denver, Colorado. So, or actually Arvada, I guess. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Take On Any.
Yeah, well, I moved to Arvada about 2 years ago, so I'm not a very long-time resident of the Denver area, but I'm hoping that we can make a lot of new Alita fans here in this area.
You betcha. Yeah, as a matter of fact, Take On Any's going to have a outdoor 3D showing of Alita Battle Angel up there where he lives. I'm going to it, and it's going to be a lot of fun on Sunday, I think. Sunday our time, but for you Aussies in the future, that'd be Monday your time. So we probably won't see any Aussies there, but because they'd have to fly all the way to get here. So, but it's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't done an outdoor movie show since COVID started, so it's been more than a year and a half. So I'm looking forward to getting back to it and getting people watching.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. That's for sure. I'll probably bring my own water. I like to drink Propel. I don't drink too much alcohol before a competition. So anyway. Welcome aboard. Anyway, Take On Any. You want to tell us a little bit more about yourself, though? How long you've been an Alita Battle Angel fan, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I watched the original anime Battle Angel Alita back in the 1990s, and I was at the university at the time, and it was one of my favorites. I really enjoyed it. It was too bad it was only 2 episodes and only got an hour long. But I never in my wildest dreams thought that it would eventually turn into my favorite movie of all time, which I saw first weekend it was out in middle of February. And when I saw it, my jaw was just left wide open. And coincidentally, it was about the time that I was going to move to the Denver area. So
nice.
It was the last movie that I watched back in the Houston area where I used to live before I moved to Denver. And I saw it with an old friend who was a big sci-fi movie fan. And after we watched Alita, our jaws were just on the floor, and he was saying, "Did you see what I just saw?" And I was like, I'm absolutely amazed. I mean, it followed very closely the plot of the original anime I saw back in the 90s, but amazingly, it was so much better, and it made it my favorite movie of all time.
Nice. Yeah, I think all of us here is going to be, if it's not our favorite, which it is mine, it's going to definitely be in the top 3, I think. And we were just joined by our co-host, Angelus. He's from Brisbane and Queensland, Australia. So how's it going, Angelus?
I'm currently stuffing my face with breakfast.
Ah, okay. That's right. You guys. Yeah, I forgot you guys. You Aussies live in the future. So, yeah. You're a little ahead of us. I think.
Bright and early.
Yes. So anything interesting happening down under?
No, just same old shit, different smell.
Yeah, I heard same old shit, different day, maybe, but I've never heard different smell. That's pretty cool. So
I think that's like a spin that I guess either us Aussies put on it, or we adopted for our own sort of slang. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so same stuff. Well, to keep it PG, it's the same stuff, different smell.
Yeah, same stuff, different smell. Yeah, exactly. So, Anyway, Jeff says hi, Creaky, and say hi back to you, Jeff. I say hoka hey to everybody in the Alita Army that's out there. I don't know if there's that many folks out there. Yeah, I guess we got about 8 watching, I guess. So that's not too bad. I mean, it's okay. Even if we only had 1 watching, though, we'd still do the stream. Doesn't matter. So, okay, well, I guess we can jump right into the discussion here. And I guess this is kind of, it's not going to be like some of our other streams where we have a kind of just a story that we want to kind of come up with a first like a first topic, and then after that it devolves and that kind of stuff after that. So this is more of a general discussion, and the reason why I picked that is not because I'm lazy and didn't want to come up with a topic, but because, tomorrow on the Radio Chaos stream, we're going to, be talking about Alita in terms of how you would summarize or sum up Alita in a nutshell, in maybe just a few words. So hopefully anybody that joins that logs into that stream or joins it will get some ideas from this perhaps. So, and definitely we're not going to be too worried about, whether we're talking about anime Alita, manga Alita, or movie Alita. Any one of them is going to be fine. But anything goes. Mine and Angelus's favorite, of course, first number 1 trait or characteristic of Alita, of course, is her power of uwu. So we definitely will be taking that into account too. But, there's some other important things about Alita that, kind of draws all of us in, like how her dogged persistence, perseverance, determination, whatever you want to call it, how, once she gets focused on something, nothing could detract her from it. I mean, and she basically develops almost like a single-minded purpose for that. We'll even talk about relationships that she has with other characters in either the anime, manga, or movie. We can even talk about her history. Some of the folks that, like adversaries, friends, that kind of stuff. And certainly she was a pro motorball player. She was also a ZOT player, a Zenith of All Things tournament player. I'm not going to tell you how that turned out because some of us probably haven't read the manga yet, so I don't want to spoil that one. And of course, there's the Badlands arc, and most definitely Iron City and Zalem, but of course even Jeru or Catharis, if you're thinking about the manga, or say for Iron City it'd be Tiferis. So
or Cydonia.
Or Cydonia on Mars. Yeah, her whole time on Mars. Any of this is a fair game. So I guess we'll start out with our guest here. Take on any. What is some of the things about Alita, that kind of pulls you in or did pull you in? You mentioned that you really liked the anime, back in the 90s. I think I've seen 1 episode of that. I know there's 2, but I've seen 1 episode, and it is very similar to the movie in a lot of ways. So, but anyway, take on any. Tell us what what pulled you in. How did Alita hook you?
Yeah, I was already into anime when I saw Battle Angel Alita, but the kind of anime that I watched was Macross, so that was Robotech in the United States.
Yeah.
And that was more of a youth show, so it wasn't very mature, but it was sci-fi. And I also really liked Ranma. Ranma was more of a martial arts comedy anime, but I'd never seen anything quite like Battle Angel Alita. And after only seeing 2 episodes, it left me wanting for more, because I don't think they really had a chance to develop Alita's character fully. It was great to see, though, that she lived in a very dystopian cyberpunk world, but she could somehow manage to be so optimistic and so inspiring, despite being in such a desperate world.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Angelus? What was it that, of course, Angelus and I have talked about this many times, about Alita. But before I ask Angelus, let me ask you, take on any. Have you read the manga?
Yes, I have. I read the manga after watching the anime. So the anime left me wanting for more. So I did read the manga. I read the original series all the way through the 9 volumes. So I got to see her have a happy ending at the end of the original series. I
Yeah.
haven't read Last Order though, so I haven't read the retcon version of
Yeah.
Alita's story.
Yeah. Well, you're in for a treat because I really like the Last Order as well as the original manga and the Mars Chronicle. And Angelus will be happy to know that I'm a little over halfway through volume 6, and it has got
I
some
was going to
surprise.
ask about.
Yeah, I've already seen the surprise, which I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to spoil it. But I kind of suspected it was kind of headed that way. When they got into just a little bit, I guess, of a teaser. I guess when they got into that. The I guess that ceremony they have, for the transfer of power or whatever from Kagula or whatever her name is. I can't pronounce her name to Alita. And anyway, there's a couple of surprises in there on that one that's really when you read it, you go, oh my God, like this type thing, But it was really good. So anyway, and I'm still reading it. So anyway, sorry about that, Angelus. Didn't mean to cut you off there. So what was it about? What is it about Alita that kind of pulled you in? I mean, did you read the manga first, or did you see the movie, or how'd you do it?
Going into a little more detail on a slightly different angle of my story with Alita. I did know the anime first, and but that's where it stopped for me for quite a long while, or rather, it went into hibernation, if you want to call it that. Which excuse me, and yeah, like I was actually. Let's do some math. If I'm this age now, so it's like 20, 30. I must have been like maybe 10 or 12 when I first saw the anime. And being so young and impressionable, I bawled my eyes out when at the end of the second episode. Back then, I just thought it was just like the 2 episodes mashed together in like 1.5 hour movie sort of thing. But yeah, I bawled my eyes out when Hugo died. So at the end of the anime. But like I said, so that's where it stopped for me for quite a long while. Back then I didn't realize there was a manga attached to it. And by that time, when I was going into high school, I didn't really have, I had a paper delivery route for a bit of pocket money on the side. And so I didn't really buy any manga or read any manga or comics for that matter. And that's where my knowledge and love of Alita just sort of stayed for quite a long while. And it wasn't until the movie that, and just dropping a little bit into that, like I was wanting to go watch a movie one night because I was just completely bored and wanted something to do. And it was Alita and some other movie, in hindsight, because it drew me in so much. I just didn't even bother trying to remember what the other choice was. And so, yeah, it was between this other choice and Alita. And I thought, the other movie mustn't have been all that good, because I was tossing up between that and this another Hollywood adaptation of a Japanese anime / manga. And I thought, oh, I'll give it a go, and yeah, the rest of they say is history.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until then, and I joined the Elite Army. I think it was like maybe anywhere between July, August, September sort of time after the movie was released, that I met Maxie, and then he sort of was like the final straw that broke the camel's back, and that got me reading the manga.
Yeah.
And I guess the manga, just obviously because it's in a written form or picture form with words,
Yeah.
that I just so much more detail and story of Alita's world, and movies, games, manga, anime, the whole lot. If it has a good story attached to it, you can be as. I'll only touch upon this thing for a little while, but you can be as woke and whatever as you want. If it has a good story attached to it, I probably wouldn't even give a hoot like what it was. If it has a good story to attach to it, I'll still be like, be reeled in, hook, line, and sinker. And Alita got me real good. And I think it was like halfway through, like the third. Would you call it volume or omnibus or whatever?
Yeah.
I think it was halfway through Joshigan Saga or whatever that you and I started sort of keeping pace. Like one would get ahead and then the other would get ahead, but not by much. And then we'd sort of level each other out as we go along.
Yeah. We compared notes too, didn't we? A lot.
Yeah. Just so we could oh my God, this happened, but have you got it up to this page?
Yeah, that's right. We didn't want to spoil it for anybody else, did we? That's a good point. Yeah, I think for me, what got me about it, and some of the folks have heard me say this, when the movie came out, I had heard of, I knew of Alita because I think I've told this story several times, but just I'll regale you with this one more time. But anyway, my second wife used to go to sewing classes, and I certainly was not interested in that. So in the little strip mall where I'd take her, because we'd make a day of it over in the big city of Boone, North Carolina. But anyway, we'd make a day of it over there, and while she was taking these sewing classes or quilting classes and stuff like that, there was a comic book store that was in that same strip mall, and I'd go in there and just kind of, look around. Much to the owner's dismay, I never bought a comic book out of there. I just kind of walked around reading the stuff that they already had, but he didn't seem to mind, But anyway, and they had a section for graphic novels and the manga and different kind of mangas, But I saw Alita. I saw the manga or some of the volumes they had in there, and I kind of looked through it, and I thought, well, that's kind of interesting, but I didn't catch me at that point. And then, of course, in 2019, I was watching the Super Bowl, and of course, I saw the trailer, for Alita Battle Angel, and I saw the trailers come out after that a couple of times, and when I saw it, I thought, a teenage girl, fighting cyborgs and robots and androids or whatever, that's just not my thing. I just really, I don't really care to see that too much, And by the way, I've regretted thinking that, for the whole, year, because I think, Angeles, you said you joined the Alita Army in probably July or August of 2019. I ended up joining about 6 months after that. I thought you and I joined about the same time, but you were actually there before me. So, but anyway, I'd seen the trailers, and this doesn't do it for me. I don't care to see this, So anyway, I was on a business trip in Dallas, Texas, and I was, kind of sitting in the hotel. It was at the very beginning of COVID. They hadn't locked stuff down yet. And I was on a business trip there, and I'm sitting in the hotel and, switched on the telly, as they say in England. And, I got the HBO, and I saw Alita Battle Angel was coming on, and I said, well, I don't have anything better to do. I think I'll just give this a shot, see what it looks like, that kind of thing. And started watching it, and almost from the get-go, it started grabbing me. especially when she wakes up in that scene, the very beginning after Ito finds her in the scrapyard, and she opens her eyes, and I saw those manga or anime eyes, and I went, "Oh my God, how pretty that is!" That's what kind of was my reaction. I don't remember exactly what I thought, but I said, "Okay, maybe this will turn out pretty good," So, what was you going to say, David?
That.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but anyway, I started watching it, and the more I watched it, the more interested I got in it. But I really, it was okay. I mean, I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of movies. I've seen a lot of pretty female actresses, and I certainly thought Alita was pretty. But to that point, I wasn't totally hooked until she rammed her hand in Grewishka's eye and said, "Fuck your mercy." When she said that, and I saw that, my reaction was, "Oh my God," like that kind of thing, and I loved her. I fell in love with her, I fell in love with the movie, and it was like, as soon as I got back, from my business trip, I joined the Alita Army right then, because I was on Twitter and everything, and I saw, some of these tweets the Alita Army was putting out, and that's when I joined, and just gradually got into doing the stream here, and met you, and I met Angelus and Maxie and Dennis, from Germany, and then Vladi and a bunch of them. I just met a bunch of these folks. So it was all. It's like Angelus says, all downhill from there. But anyway, yeah, met Dizzy too. Dizzy, you can get your ass on the stream if you want, bud. Because I think let me see where the link is here. I'll put that in the chat again. So
while you were aware, like at that stage, prior to watching that movie for the first time, you were aware that there was a manga and anime, and obviously the live action as well. But you weren't privy to her whole story arc at all at that stage.
Well, yeah, I was aware of the manga. I didn't know about the anime at that point. I didn't know about the anime until like a couple of months after I joined the Alita Army. I saw it on YouTube. I think they're called Rusty Angel, I think is what it was called. I just happened to see it, and actually I downloaded it onto my computer. But anyway, I was aware of the manga, but I really didn't read it, hadn't read any of it. Of course, after I saw the movie, and then I saw you guys, in the Alita Army doing all these tweets and everything, and how dedicated, a lot of them were, I said, oh, I got to get into this because, I love the story so much that I just felt like I had to contribute somehow into getting a sequel, so, but anyway, that's how it happened for me anyway. So, seeing knowing who Alita was, but not really into it, then saw the movie, then got really into it. So,
yeah, Creek, this is the first time I've ever heard your story. So it really strikes me as the kind of story of people we want to reach, people who dismissed Alita to begin with because they weren't very familiar with anime, and they're not really very familiar with cyberpunk tropes, and the trailer might get them thinking that this is like a niche kind of movie. Unfortunately, I think what people like you and a lot of people out there who could be Alita fans miss out is that there's a lot of sincerity in the movie, and there's a lot that you can relate to in Alita's growth from waking up with no memory to being a badass by the end. That growth story is something that's so human that anybody who, regardless of whether you're a sci-fi fan or regardless of whether you're a cyberpunk fan, can relate to it and really be compelled by it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Take on any, because to tell you the truth, I didn't know doodly damn about what cyberpunk was when I joined the Alita Army. It was I think Angelus actually kind of introduced it to me a little bit. I saw him. This I may have been a little before that, but I watched him play that game on on Discord, that kind of thing, and so that's when I kind of started figuring out what it was, that type of thing. But I think the thing that was disappointing for me, it's like well, first of all, I have a regret that I didn't watch it when it came out because I felt like, I lost a whole year. I could have been supporting, Alita Battle Angel, but, here's the Dismeisters coming on. But anyway, yeah, kind of, that regret, for, how much I love the movie right now. And then having lost, pretty much over a year, of not supporting it. And another thing that struck me was I really think Fox did a horrible job of promoting the movie. I mean, yeah, there was some trailers out and stuff like that, but they really didn't grab you. The trailer didn't grab me anyway. So, and I felt like they could have probably done a little better job in marketing, that kind of thing. So, hello, Dizzy B.
What's going on, man?
I was hoping you'd tell me. Good day, mate.
Oh. Hey, girl.
So anyway, Disney.
I think you were a bit, I thought the trailer was unreal.
Yeah. Well,
I thought all of them were unreal, man.
Yeah, maybe so, but they still didn't grab me that way, But anyway, after I saw the movie, of course, then it was all downhill from there. And I think everybody knows Dizzy is actually Dizzy's not from Straya; he's from Tassie. So
hey, it's the same place.
Yeah. Yeah, a little island off of Straya, So anyway,
down under.
Yeah, down under. That's right. So anyway, Diz, what is it about Alita that kind of, is meaningful for you? I mean, what kind of, how did you get hooked into the Army?
Well, yeah, I first saw the anime back in like the mid to late 90s, and yeah, ever since then I've loved it. But then, to be honest, I didn't really follow it after that and didn't know there was a movie coming out until like I'd seen the trailer in 2018.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, this is going to be fully sick, man, because I really loved the trailer. Like, I was hooked on the trailer, unreal. I didn't care how shit it was. I just saw it and I'm like a sci-fi nut. And I was like, this is going to be sick. And then watched it and I walked out of the movies and I was just staring at the ground. I was like, just deep in thought. And I was like, that's the best thing I've ever seen. That was unreal. Then I went back and seen it a few more times. I was like, walked out every time and went, yep, still the best.
Yeah.
And then that's when I found out that it was like a manga. So I read that. And I was like, yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of this on the big screen. So, yeah, that's how I found out about it. It was unreal.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I didn't see the movie in the I didn't see it in the theaters until October of last year. When we had the re-release. And I'd only seen it in watch parties and on my big screen TV here. In my house, but once I saw it in the movie, I was in that theater and saw it, and I did a video on this. Probably many of you may have seen the video. That thing blew me away because one of the things about seeing it in the theater, and it doesn't have to be IMAX, although I understand IMAX is just freaking awesome, But
3D, man's where it's at.
Oh yeah, and I'm going to find out what 3D's like on Sunday. I'm going to not take any. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my goal, to get as many people in the Denver area to see Alita Battle Angel in 3D. So if the movie theaters aren't going to re-release it, then I will personally make it my mission to let anybody who's willing come see it in 3D, because just like the movie compared with the anime, it's like on a completely different level because of not only the sincerity of the story, but the sincerity of all the artists at Weta and all the soundtrack from Tom Holkenborg and all of the people who contributed to it, and especially Rosa Salazar. All this put onto 3D to maximum effect. It just takes Alita, the anime, to an absolutely another level, to the point that it's the best movie I've ever seen.
That's. Do you have Elvis Cinemas up there in Arvada? Do you, or is that pretty much down here in south of Denver?
Yes. I went to the Elvis Cinema to see it in the theaters while it was in its second run back in the middle of 2019. And I went there like 2 or 3 times a week. And The only thing that I wasn't satisfied with was this is in 3D IMAX, but it's still Alita, and I'll still come back here just to watch it on theater one more time.
Yeah. Because I had contacted somebody at the Elvis Cinemas down here in Littleton, and they were open to to showing it. All I had to do was bring a Blu-ray. They said, but then the re-release happened, and it was already coming out in theater, so I didn't pursue that with them. Let me just kind of divert here a little bit. Doy Lay has said he wants somebody to give him some information about Alita too, because he saw that video of Jai Courtney with those testing his new rollerblades. And I will say this about that. That was not anything to do with Alita 2. It was a different movie. Angelus, you or Dizzy or Take On Any might know what that was. But
yeah, it was Love, Death and Robots, the TV show
that's right.
on Netflix. Yeah, because everyone went nuts about that, thinking it was that. But then I think he went on some newspaper article in Germany or somewhere it was, and confirmed that it was for that, and that it wasn't for Alita 2, and that he didn't know anything about Alita 2 yet, because the dude that was interviewing him asked him.
Yeah. Now I will say this though. I hope I'm pronouncing your handle right, Doy Lay. But anyway, the thing about it is that we covered this a little bit, a couple of weeks ago, I think. But there was IMDb has listed that Alita Battle Angel 2 is in development now. Don't get too excited about that one, because that could mean anything from, they really are working on a script or whatever they're doing, or coming up with the preliminaries for it, or it could be they just had a meeting about it. It could be anything, so, but at least it's a little bit of positive news. So at least, Disney or 20th Century Studios, rather, at least they're thinking about it, or at least at some level. So that, but, I'm a firm skeptic here, and I'll see it I'll believe it when I see it, as they say. So anyway, Alita, what do you like? I mean, Alita, Jesus, I got Alita on the mind. Anyway, Take On Any. What about Alita do you like the most, or love the most about the character? What is it in her that really speaks to you?
Yeah, like I said, I feel like they pack a lifetime of experience, completely relatable experience, in just 90 minutes that she's on screen in a 2-hour movie. And that was my problem with the anime. The anime was only about an hour long, and you might get about 40 minutes of Alita, and I didn't feel like she was fully fleshed out, and it felt like the anime used a lot of anime tropes. Like, her voice was very much typical anime heroine character. And the situation she was in, I think it wasn't done to the effect that it could really make you feel for her and make you be inspired by her. And there was no motorball in the anime, but the movie took all the elements of the first 3 volumes of the manga and upped the ante, turned the dial up to 11, brought it up to maximum effect. But at the heart of it is something that you can relate to, not only as somebody who could relate to, well, if I went through Alita's experience, but as a father, I could relate to Ito and his trouble with dealing with Alita having a mind of her own and not wanting to do things safely like Ito wanted. And as a father, I can relate to that, because I have a daughter who is about the age of Alita, and I can relate to that rebellion, relate to that feeling of, I know you're trying to protect me, but you're also holding me back. And there's just so many different levels that you can relate to Alita with. And although they changed Hugo's story significantly in the way that he relates to Alita, they changed it a lot in the movie versus the manga. I thought it was for the positive, because you can relate to it from the standpoint of, well, what if you were Alita's friend? Well, what if you were Alita's boyfriend? Would you be willing to tell her the whole truth about yourself, even though it might disillusion her? And those elements of the story were just so powerful for me. Yeah,
I kind of look at Alita as though she was like my niece. It's kind of the way I see her. And like you, I'm a stepfather. And actually, you'd be surprised to know, Take On Any, I'm actually a grandfather. So I'm Dizzy and Angelus will tell you I'm up there. So anyway, but yeah, I all of those things. As a matter of fact, there's a scene in the movie, or actually a couple of scenes in the movie where I saw him even the very first time, and when she says Ito just wants me to be his perfect little girl, and then Hugo says, "Oh, whose rules you going to live by, yours or his?" And I thought, even at that point, the first time I said, "Oh, how teenager that is," that type of thing. So, I get that, So anyway, yeah, that's some good points there. Dizzy, what is it about Alita that you love the most about the character?
Hang on, before Dizzy jumps in, I've got a. Yeah, you can get stuff, mate.
Yeah.
No. I've got to quickly log off. Get downstairs because we'll cut it out.
Yeah.
And log back onto my phone because I have a certain parcel waiting for me that needs collection ASAP.
I hope it's broken.
It's got to be an HD Alita. It's got to be. No, anyway.
It must be if it's broken, it might have to be the sword, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I thought it was your blow up sheep, mate.
No. Well, let's say there'll be a visual feast when I get back.
Oh, nice.
Keep your camera off, then, mate.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay. Yeah. We got your message in the private chat there. I saw it, so that's why I skipped the Dizzy. So.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. So I'll be right back.
All right. Okay, Dizzy. What is it about Alita that makes you love the character so much? What are some of the traits that really speak to you?
I think for me, man, it's more the like everyone's all hell bent on the action scenes and the and the motorball and all that, which is still unreal. But for me, it's more the like the quieter moments that you see in the movie. Like the chocolate scene, the bridge scene, and all that stuff. And I like the fact that she can just flick a switch and become like this devil and just like smash people, like it's unreal. But like even through the manga and that, when I read that, like it was more when she was, just when she first got into the Badlands and she's sitting by herself on the sand and just deep in thought and all that sort of stuff. Like I thought those moments were the best for me, and that's what I like about her is, she's human, and that's for me the best parts. But and then it gets backed up by the fact that she can just rip anyone apart in 2 seconds and then go back to being I like chocolate.
I think
that's it.
Yeah, that's some really good points because that kind of parallels what I like about her too. I mean, I like the fact that, well, first of all, I like how her progression happens in the movie. At the very beginning of the movie, she's like this little 14-year-old little darling, this naive, because she doesn't have her memories, obviously, but it's kind of one of those. And as time progresses, even in her doll body, she starts getting to be more and more of a badass. And I like what you said there about flipping that switch on. That certainly happened in the alley. But where she kicked the crap out of those 3 cyborgs in her doll body, that was amazing. But anyway, as the movie progressed, she became more and more, to me, like manga Alita. Manga Alita is kind of a badass, herself. And through a good bit of the manga and even through the Last Order, a good bit of that, she loves to fight, that kind of thing. But, of course, toward the end in the Last Order, she kind of gets away from it a little bit, But the fact that she is more, how would you say, I'm going to say lethal is the best word I can put on it, and how she's more, I don't think cynical is a good word for it, but, what she did with, everybody on this stream, of course, has seen the movie. So, how she killed Vector and all that, that is very much like manga Alita. Whereas at the beginning of the movie, she wasn't like manga Alita that much. A little bit maybe at the beginning of the manga, perhaps, and then in the anime, certainly a little bit like that too, So, but, I think the thing I like about her is just being this, what looks like this little girl, that can actually absolutely be a badass. You know, I mean, it can destroy. And I kind of like that about her. You know, it's kind of a deceptive, you know, kind of you know, you see her and you try to read that book by its judge the book by its cover, and then all of a sudden, wow, you know,
You're cut in half.
yeah, that's right. Like she did with Grushka. You know, I mean, you know, once she recovered from that,
Ends the pan's face.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Slice his face off. You know, I mean that's stuff she did in the manga. You know, so
Yeah.
that's what I liked about it. But I think the fact that I do love the action scenes, like you were talking about, Dizzy, and we've had streams where we've talked about, you know, comparing Alita to superheroes. Now, you know, just for anybody that I know everybody's seen the movie, I don't think Alita is a superhero. She's not that, you know, but her qualities, you know, her traits and characteristics, you know, her abilities are superhero level. You know, I mean, she you know, certainly has superhuman strength. You know, she's fast. You know, I've done videos on how that, and Dizzy, you were on one of them, how we talked about how strong and how fast she was, you know, in her berserker body. And then, of course, in her Imaginos body, she is even stronger and faster in that. Matter of fact, on one of Den's streams, we talked about how she can run near the speed of light, you know, in that Imaginos body. So, you know, it's just all of that put together. And of course, it doesn't hurt that she's pretty. So that doesn't hurt one little bit, you know. But I like the fact she's a professional athlete in motorball, and certainly a professional level athlete in the Zot, you know. And that's, you know, I kind of like respect or you know, are drawn to humans, you know, and like what you said, Dizzy, I think Alita is very human, even though she's 99% cyborg. You know, she's a machine of most of her, but she is so human. You know, I mean, that's what another thing that I really like about her. You know, and of course that she can kick the shit out of anybody she wants. So I kind of like that in her too. So
Yeah, I think she's a very unique blend of a very inspirational and hopeful anime character with the dystopian and hopeless world of cyberpunk.
yeah,
And typically, cyberpunk stories are like Blade Runner, where there's no hope. The protagonist, in the end, ends up failing and ends up being miserable. But Alita is so different compared
yeah,
with most cyberpunk heroes, and she's inspirational to the point that I think that she should be a mainstream hero for people like Spider-Man and like superheroes. But on the other hand, she's got so much more depth and she's got so much more interesting things about her that
yeah.
typically Marvel superheroes aren't allowed to have because they might offend part of their audience, or they might not be able to get the $1 billion that Disney always hopes for.
You betcha.
But I think that integrity of her character and how she's unique and how she's human and how she's relatable and how she has a dark side in addition to her inspiring side, those things shouldn't be compromised, but they should still be appreciated on the level that she deserves a franchise.
You betcha. Oh, we've talked about this on Den's stream, on our stream. You know, before I get into that, let me welcome Cran. Hey, my buddy Cran has decided to log in, and I'm happy about that. How's it going, Cran?
Hello. Hello.
Cool. How's Rido?
Doing good.
Cool. What's he doing?
Playing the game.
I figured. I knew you were going to say that.
What do you think I'm doing?
Yeah, you're probably doing the same thing. But you can multitask though.
Yeah, my computer's not liking it so much.
Well, let's see. You're playing a game. You're on this stream, and you're drinking Kraken from the looks of it.
Yep.
Just blame the Kraken.
Yes. So, yeah, those are all good points. Take on any. You know, that kind of mirrors what I think about her too. Cran, if you can kind of give us maybe 40% of your brain power there and devote, 35% or 30%.
I think you're pushing it there, mate.
Tell us what is it about Alita that you love in the character, and how did you actually, come to know or come to like the whole franchise we have now with it, anime, manga, or movie?
Oh, I mean, it started when I met Rido, and he gave me this book and said, "Read it." So I did.
It's not like you to do anything everybody says.
I cannot
Leave
argue
it to her
that.
own devices, mate. She ends up with bloody possums in her garage.
Yeah.
That was 100% me.
So, what is it about Alita that you love in the character, Cranberry?
Everything.
Cool. Okay, I can live with that.
It's just, I
You
love.
get more of an answer if you asked her about Zex.
I mean, look at this. I mean, just look at him. Look at my boy.
Yeah, we can talk about Zex if you want. Because Zex is AR6, so
Zexy.
Yes.
So anyway, give us some of the characteristics you like about the character there, Cran.
I mean, overall, I just love how gray the story is. Like, that's my biggest thing. Is I really like stories where there's not a clear-cut hero or villain.
Yeah, so it's like life, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Most people aren't either heroes or villains, are they? They're shades of gray. So.
It's like when you have too much Kraken and you look in the mirror.
I mean,
can you have too much Kraken, Cran?
yes, you can.
Oh, okay. I thought you were might answer no on that, but okay. Yeah, I guess Kraken is now the official Alita Army drink after the stream of about a month ago or whenever it was. That's the funniest thing ever.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, okay, so Cran, you actually discovered Alita in the 90s, right?
Yes.
When the anime came out?
No, the manga first.
Oh, the manga? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think for me it was the movie first. Take On Any, it was the anime first. Dizzy, for you, it was the anime first too, wasn't it?
Yeah, mate.
Okay, so we got 2 votes for the anime, 1 for the movie, and 1 for the manga. So now all of us have read the manga, obviously. So, which is a good thing.
Just the OG.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, I'm a little over halfway through volume 6 of the Mars Chronicle, and it's got some heavy duty surprises in it. I kind of knew which way one of them was going, about Alita's origin, but I'm not going to say anything because it'll ruin it for folks. But yeah, it's I'm already, even though I haven't finished volume 6, I'm already anticipating volume 7. It's going to be a wild thing too, I think. So anything else about Alita? What do you guys think the odds of a sequel are going to be? Just your personal opinions.
I reckon we'll get one. I don't know if it'll be. I don't know if it'll be in the form of another movie or a series, but we'll get more of the universe.
Yeah, I think so. I just hope I'm not 95 when it happens.
Nah, you'll be right, mate. Just wheel yourself out to the TV.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to stay in shape so I can see the sequel or the. I want a whole franchise. I don't want. I mean, I want a sequel. I definitely do, but I want a series. I want some more anime. I want not just a sequel, but I want even a trilogy or more, because to really do the manga itself, the original manga and the Last Order, you would probably have to have at least 4 movies, I think. That's my opinion. Might even be more than that. And I wouldn't mind seeing the Mars Chronicles be a series. You know, that would be okay with me. And I wouldn't care if it was anime or live action, although I'd prefer live action. But it would be all right if it was anime. So,
or if it was like completely CG in the sense that the Resident Evil movies are, or the Starship Troopers movies, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how well Starship Troopers did in the at the box office. I'd have to look that up, I guess. My sense is it probably was profitable, but it wasn't a blockbuster. I don't think. It could have been. I don't know. You know.
Oh,
But
there's
certainly,
there's like a CGI movie, like The Incredibles, or like computer integrated graphics sort of thing. But yeah, there's a computer animated movie version of both Starship Troopers and Resident Evil out, and something along that lines is what I think would be good for Elite as well, and cheaper if they do decide to develop a series, because surely by then, Rose, it's profile.
I don't know, man. I reckon if it's going to be a series, I reckon it either needs to be real life or anime.
yeah.
I reckon those Resident Evil ones you're talking about, I tried to watch one of them the other day and it just looked like a dodgy mid-2000s game CGI.
Oh yeah, I mean, I sort of enjoyed myself, but at the same time, I enjoyed myself watching you like shit your pants when you were playing Resident Evil Village. So
the Starship Troopers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with an old game that actually got kind of redone, I guess, here not too long ago. But an old game from the '90s called Duke Nukem. I don't know if you ever heard. I know you.
Oh yeah.
I'm here to chew ass or.
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I love that. But anyway, what they did, they took that Duke Nukem engine and they, kind of replaced the graphics, with the graphics, and this was very '90s graphics, although it wasn't too bad, but it was pretty '90s, of the bugs. And you have weapons, that you can shoot at them and stuff like that. And it looked very much like what you would see in the movie, and they had levels for it and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I guess, first of all, before we continue here, I want to, take on Any. He's gonna have to leave here pretty quick because he's actually setting up his outdoor 3D movie showing of Alita Battle Angel. So anyway, take on Any. It was really good to have you on the stream, man.
It was a pleasure. It was great to hear your story as well as Dizzy's story and Fran's story and Angelus's story. Thanks for letting me on and share with you.
You betcha. So I'll see you Sunday night, man.
Yeah, I look forward to it. See you then.
Is the movie Alita?
The movie's yes.
Tonight's movie is not Alita. Tonight's movie is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's to show off the 3D capabilities of my projector. But I'm hoping the people who watch today will be convinced that 3D is so awesome with Spider-Man that they would be willing to try it with Alita.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I am sure it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, thanks. I'll let you know how it goes.
All righty, man.
All right. See you next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Ta-ta.
Isn't that an English thing? I know I've said that to you before, Dizzy, but isn't that an English thing?
Yeah, probably. It just sounds dumb. That's why I say it.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
Yeah, so Ash Blackwind says, here's his story. He fell in love with Alita the moment she offered her heart to Hugo, I guess. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. For me, it was kind of I really liked that scene too, Ash Blackwind. I really did. But the thing about me, I thought on that scene was how teenage that is. I mean, Alita, has known Hugo for what? just a few days, and she's already all in. So and
That's how it works, isn't it?
It's
Yeah, well, I
who
guess-
cares?
yeah, I guess it can work, but
That's how it worked with us in the movie.
yeah, it's all or nothing with
One
me.
night out with the movie mate, and then
Yeah, it's all or nothing with me, is what she said. So yeah, I get it, but that's yeah. I mean, a lot of those things between her and Hugo were, except the church scene, that was a little different, because Hugo was, he was badly injured there, but was very much like teenagers to me, so which is okay, so.
yeah. I just remember when the first trailer dropped. What had me, man, was when it was in the first trailer where she grabs Zapan in through his neck and smashes him into the table, and I was like, I'm
Yes.
sold.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sign me up. I'm
Yep.
in. I'm invested.
Yeah. When I saw that scene, when he was kind of, being condescending to her and all that, calling her cupcake and all that shit, I thought, after seeing her beat the crap out of those 3 cyborgs, I thought, he's going to regret saying that, and he did. So, yeah, I love that scene too. I like that bar fight scene too. I mean, she's definitely in control there. When Ito shows up, I also like that look on her face. When she's looking at him, it's like, oh crap! I'm like a daughter would say when her dad shows up. Oh crap! That kind of thing. So, what game are you playing, Fran?
Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, of course. Why did I ask?
Exactly.
Yeah. How far into that game are you?
It's never ending.
Pretty much, but not very far in main story because I keep getting distracted.
Oh, you mean like now?
I'm trying on
and
clothes.
Kraken.
When are you going to do another cosplay there, Gran?
I don't know. I actually had someone else asking me about that last night.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, you don't have to answer. It's okay.
A cosplay and Kraken night done.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
just-
Yeah. You
Nice.
give.
Nice. Turn that off.
Yeah, she'll cosplay anybody if you give her a fifth of Kraken. So,
Woody? What about Woody?
Oh my! I actually have thought about printing out the Rape Face Woody on a cardboard mask and just wearing that around.
That'd be hectic.
Okay, I'm dumb here. Who is Woody?
Oh, you
From
don't
the Toy
know?
Story.
Oh, the Toy
You don't know,
Story.
you don't
Yeah.
know about
Come
that
on,
toy?
mate.
Yeah, I know who that is now. Yeah, okay.
But you don't know
Yeah.
about the famous toy?
No, I just saw Toy
Oh
Story
my gosh.
1. Yeah, I just saw the first movie. I never saw the any of the sequels. So
Maybe you should fill him in there, Cranny.
I gotta find safe for work stuff.
that's Tom Hanks did the voiceover for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess what's his name did Buzz Lightyear.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did the voiceover for that. But I think they quit doing it, didn't they? Don't they have new voices now for those two?
I forget. Somebody got replaced.
Yeah, I think there were isn't there like 4 movies, isn't there?
Yes, I never saw the fourth one. All right, I just sent you a picture. Creaky.
Okay. Let me see here. Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, I know. Yeah, certainly I know who that is.
Do you see that face?
Yes. Yeah, I see the face. Yes, I definitely do.
That is an official toy.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I own it.
I'll be damned. That's pretty cool, Fran.
Show it.
All right. Let me get to because I got Google Chrome on one and let's see, I got to share my screen here. Okay, where is it? I don't have it on there, so damn. Okay, now let me share it and see what it does. Yeah, there it is. Can you guys see it?
I can see it.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
Jesus.
I saw. I was like, ordered immediately.
How many of these things do you have, Cran? I mean, you promised me you would show me your sanctuary or whatever that is.
Oh, we got echo going on.
Oh, that'll be me.
Okay.
Just picked up my my package.
Oh, what was it?
Don't tell us your personal problems.
Well, I haven't unwrapped it yet. Still in its what you would call in its condom, in its protective wrapping.
Are you walking?
I am, yeah.
Is it
I can hear the light things.
Yeah, as soon as I found out that it was waiting for me, I was like, yeah, the stream can come later. I'm
But
not
it's
going to go pick it
Saturday.
up right
It's
now.
cool. Yeah, it's cool. What is it? The Damascus Blade, Angelus?
No, it's Big Sister.
It's who? What?
It's Big Sister. You know,
Big.
It's Hot Toys Alita, isn't it?
it is.
There
Oh,
we
I
go.
guessed that at first. Yeah. Okay. HT Alita. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So when I get home, I'll turn on the webcam and put on a show.
Show us your package.
show on my.
No, Dizzy. We don't want to see his package. We
They want to see Hot Toys
we want to
Alita.
see Hot Toys Alita. We don't want to see.
But that's the
Angelus.
package, man. What are you talking about?
Pervert.
Yeah. Oh, Cran, don't you call me that.
I own the pervert Woody, so I ain't saying shit.
It's that one in the handbag.
Oh gosh.
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, I guess we've kind of worn out Alita a little bit here. You guys got anything else you want to say about her? I mean, we can just start sharing our screen and doing other stuff now if you want. So
Well, at least when I get home, when I share my screen, it'll be.
oh, absolutely,
Oh,
yeah.
definitely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But something else that I discussed, and Dizzy knows what I'm talking about, but I recently just finished playing the Mass Effect games, and story-wise, wow, that hit me pretty much as emotionally hard as Alita's story did. And
Oh, really?
yeah, so like I said, it's not technically the main character is like a bit of a cyborg as well. He's got cybernetic enhancements at the very least.
I love how Davo's walking up the street talking about this.
Yeah. It's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
it's
I've
kind of
got
like a
HT
reporter, isn't he?
I've got HT lead in one arm. I don't do shit with
Next
it.
to be asking random people on the street, say, what did you like about Alita?
Yeah.
Can I tell you about our Lord and Savior?
Probably get bashed.
Yeah.
Well, I have a package to protect, so sure. But yeah, story-wise, it really did hit me hard, and it even goes beyond that in the sense that, without spoiling too much, the main character also has, he's very selfless. He sacrifices a lot for his mates, his who go beyond being his friends, but they're practically family. Being the sort of sci-fi world that he's in, it's not dystopian, far from it, but rather it's very I guess, warlike. So, it's like soldiers going into battle sort of thing. You could even think Zack Snyder's 300 sort of movie, camaraderie. And yeah, just again without spoiling too much, and I know there's a lot of background noise. Without spoiling too much, the ending of the third game, because it's like a trilogy of games, it really kicked me in the nuts, sort of thing. And
How many tissues did you go through, Davo?
I know I can tell you that I probably went through at least 1 to 2 boxes. I'm not talking about those piddly little packets of 10 that you can buy cheap for at the supermarket. I'm talking about like the bloody 250 sheets per box sort of Kleenex that you can just sort of...
Now Davo's having a random chat to himself about tissues up the main street.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, I put a video up here a few days ago. It made Lottie cry, so I consider it a success.
Doesn't take much to get him going, but
Yeah, but it's basically it's about Ito finding Alita in the scrapyard, and then it shows her three cyborg bodies, and then at the very end, it's all set to a piece of epic music that I found, and it be careful if you see that video. Be careful around 2 minutes 18 seconds. It will rip your heart out. So.
Did you say you uploaded it to your channel, or did you tweet it out from someone else's?
Well, I tweeted it out also, on, I actually put it up on Facebook too, so some folks could see it, so.
Oh, okay.
But it is on my channel, so.
All right, I'll check it out. And it's recent, within the past couple of days sort of thing?
Yeah.
I just dropped it in your inbox, Dave. I saved you all the hassle, mate, so it's all good,
right.
man.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
So anyway, yeah, it made Lottie cry, so, he's... So anyway, I think Lottie, he got off this, he logged off, I guess, because it's late there in England, jolly old England. So
said he was busy. Something about he had a lady friend over.
Good for him. Yeah.
I wonder if her name starts with a name, ends with Lita. I mean,
you mean it starts with an A and ends with an A?
I mean, wouldn't it be funny if you shouted that out?
Yeah.
Come on, mate.
Come on, don't tell me you haven't ever fantasized about it.
Nah.
Oh, I'll tell you, my favorite version of Alita is the cat Lita. I
thought you were going to say more of your favorite fantasy about Alita.
No. No. I don't have any fantasies about Alita. I'm not a complete perv there, Cran.
I am.
No, but I like Alita with that tail. That's what I like. That. I mean, that to me is the neatest thing. You're her with a tail.
Give you a bit of a reach around.
Say what?
Really
Say what, Angela?
I said she'd be able to give you a reach around at the same time.
Oh, we lost his. Lost his.
Uh-huh.
Now we're really pushing the PG limit there.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing that movie too, and even the first time I saw it, and she started taking up with Hugo, I thought, "Oh God, girl, you can do a lot better than that." That's what I thought. So anyway, particularly when he made that deal with Vector, I said, "Oh no, this guy's no good." So anyway, funny how we get into these movies. So
I still can't get over what Leda said, that we just killed that sucker every single time in every version of the script.
what was that, Angelus?
What Leta Calagritta said about Hugo's character. that we killed that sucker every single time.
Oh yeah, yeah. I want him to stay dead. I don't want him to come back. I did see a tweet or something from somebody, or it could have been on something on Facebook. I can't remember, where they were exploring whether Hugo would come back, and I thought, oh no, 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 not if they want to be true to the manga. He can't come back. So anybody want to jump on the stream and join into this ultimate chaos? You can do it.
Oh, there's my lift. I'll be back on in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, Dizzy had to leave, so
Don't go anywhere. Hate cheerleaders coming.
okay,
Yay!
we're not going anywhere. Well, Cran, how are the plushies coming?
Well, actually,
Nice.
I got to do some work on one, so we are slowly making progress.
Nice.
Hopefully, I can get some work done this weekend. We'll see. I'm not sure what's going on tomorrow. I did get to start inking my next commission, so that's in the works.
Cool. That means it's one more closer to mine. So anyway.
Yeah,
Nice.
working on stuff, trying to set up. I'm trying to record this one, so hopefully that works out. And looking at getting some new furniture for my room soon, to where I can hopefully really set up for recording some art progress stuff. Hopefully.
Oh, nice. Did you ever get a better table or desk or whatever for you to do your art?
That's what I'm looking at, getting some storage and a new desk.
Cool.
So
Are you
working
getting
on.
one of those Are you getting one of those architect desks?
No, because those are fucking expensive. I bought that giant ass easel, so
Okay.
we're working on stuff, trying to figure out what I can fit where. I'm going to completely redo my room, all that good jazz.
Nice.
I mean, it'll still
So-
look like a college person's room, but but I am going to take down a lot of like my anime posters and stuff, and I have a bunch of original art and prints from people. I want to put that up on the wall,
Yeah.
like some of the original Alita art I have and stuff like that too.
Well, I got those two chibis that you sold me up there on the wall. I'm looking at them right now. Yeah.
I gotta.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't frame them. I kept them in that document protector. I just tacked them up there with a couple of push pins. So, but I may get a frame for them eventually. So,
Oh, geez.
that's pretty cool. I like those things.
It's not terrible for like just quick 2 hours. I'm my own worst critic, so I can't.
Well, no, you did a good job on that too. And of course, you know how I feel about that commission you did for me.
I know.
That thing is great. Love it. Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting question.
What's that?
The one you just popped up there.
Oh yeah, the chocolate.
Cocktail or drink? Well, I cannot eat chocolate, so
That's too bad.
I'm not allergic to it. I think I have a sensitivity to it. It makes me sick.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of.
Well, I tell you one, if Alita might like chocolate stout.
Ooh, yeah, chocolate stouts are really good. I can have those.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of them I like. I think Guinness makes one of them.
Yes,
And,
I've had it before.
Yeah, and Ernst, I think it's what is it? Young, I think is what's called Young. Makes another chocolate stout that's really good too. Double chocolate, I think they call it. So, yeah.
Now, do you like the like milk chocolate or really high cocoa? What kind do you like?
I like the milk chocolate the most. I don't really like chocolate that much. As a candy, I don't really eat candy. But now I'll eat a chocolate protein bar. I'll eat that. But as far as beer, I'm kind of a beer snob. You know, I don't drink a lot of beer, particularly before a competition. You know, because it kind of detracts. You know, and kind of
Right,
breaks
right.
it a bit. So, but anyway, oh, here's Angelus. Okay, he's on. But yeah, I like. I'm a beer snob. I like when I do drink beer. I like heavy stuff. You know, I as light as I can go is an amber ale. That and I don't like lager. You know, I just can't stand it. You know, it's just too weak. You know, so
I like ciders the best.
oh yeah,
They're like-
cider's pretty good.
It's like drinking beer, but it's actually got flavor to it,
Yeah,
depending on what cider you have. But
yeah, I like cider. Okay.
I mean, is your boutique beer or whatever Cranberry goes on about, is that the same thing or different? Or
My what?
like whatever specialized beer that you harp on about? Like, is that
All of it.
Cran's a good beer drinker. I can tell you that, Angela. She likes beer. Maybe not as much
when
as
I come visit the Alita Museum, then yeah, get it, Alita Museum, because she'll be like one of the few people with such an extensive Alita merch collection that everyone in the Alita army will want to come to check it out.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I like that. I like that brewery there in Gastonia, North Carolina. We go to when I come down. You know, I like their beers.
Oh, I found
good.
Alita's mixed drink.
Oh, what is it?
Chocolate and orange martini.
Oh,
There we
Holy
go.
moly!
is that something you just like looked up the thing for, or did you
Yes.
know about it for a while?
I looked it up. I can't mix and drink to save my life. So
But you can do rum and coke, can't you? You can mix that.
I can't drink dark drinks, but I do mix rum with ginger ale.
Ah,
Let's see. I'm
Okay,
curious
here.
what's on the. Hold on. Half a cup chocolate chips, 1.5 ounces vodka, 3 ounce white cream de coco liqueur, and 1 splash orange liqueur. I have all of that but vodka in my cabinet.
nice. Yeah, I think Cran. I've told you before. I have a bar, and I used to make a lot of drinks when I was more of a drinker. You know, so my stepfather, my late stepfather, he was a bartender. You know, and he taught me a lot of drinks to make and stuff like that. You know, when I was younger. You know, not that long ago, Angeles. But anyway, but yeah, it's the thing about martinis, what you want to do with those is especially if you're making a chilled martini, you don't want to, kind of mix it up real hard and everything because the water will, contaminate it. So basically what you do is you just kind of pour the gin, in it, and then you just gently pour it out, type thing, so it chills it.
Maybe you can help confirm or bust a myth. Where did the whole shake, aside from being a James Bond thing, where did the whole shake and not stirred thing come from? Is that an actual thing with an actual martini, or is it just
yeah, as a martini, that was James Bond, shaken but not. So I think we may have talked about that when Mike Reyes was on. I can't remember if we did or not. But okay, here we go. I'm gonna give him the whole screen here. Nice.
Meta.
Got to take it out of there, man. We can't see it hardly. So, believe it or not, that's how I felt when I opened the one I bought. Here we have Foxfire's on. Okay.
Oh,
How's it going there, Foxfire? Yeah, we're watching Angelus here doing his unwrapping of his HT Alita. Oh, yes.
there is the package.
There it is.
Woo!
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, okay. So obviously, here's the box that it comes in, and it opens up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
That's it.
See, I haven't even looked at it for myself yet. So
Yes.
And there's a heart. Oh my god! Courtesy of one Foxfire from. What does it say? I'll just quickly flash it up there because it's got his address on it, just to keep it private. But
Well,
yeah.
Fox, you and Angelus, was that a bet you guys had, or what was it?
No, that was
Are
part
you-
of the tweeting competition.
Oh, okay.
Like I just retweeted it just to push it out there because it's on par with the kind of donations that you yourself put out, and so basically what Fox did was he purchased I think at least 2, or was it 3
Okay.
Hot Toys Alita, and then
2 Hot Toys Alitas and 3 Blu-rays, and they were part of a giveaway for our Alita Day in April. When we made that give Alita sequel #trending campaign, I put those as a giveaway on top. Yeah.
So, yeah. And
If you
I
want.
just retweeted that just to get it out there because I thought it was an excellent idea just to really get everyone involved, not just within the Alita army, but like from even other fandoms as well. And yeah, obviously I was lucky enough to win one of them. So, all right.
Cool.
I'll have
Nice.
to play with that later.
Nice. Yeah, you're going to have fun with that. It's funny when I got my first Hot Toys Alita that Miss Cran there helped me with, helped me buy it and everything. But, when it's so funny because I believe I've said this on another stream, but even when I was a little kid, I never really played with dolls. I just didn't, and, I got this Hot Toys Alita and all of a sudden I am confronted with the fact that I'm going to have to dress this thing.
Uh-huh.
And or I could have just left her in a berserker body, in a birthday suit, or her wouldn't be birthday suit, I guess, would it? Be her construction suit, I guess.
He's trailing you.
So yeah, exactly. So anyway, I'd never never played with a doll or anything like that. And I had to dress this thing, and I said, "Oh my God, look how many years I've been without having to play with dolls, and here I am. I'm at the age I am for the first time dressing a Hot Toys Alita." Were you going to show us another picture there, Angelus?
Oh, yeah, I got it. I'll open her up and, geez, I want to even keep this box intact, because it's like,
Oh, yeah.
the box itself is prime Alita merchandise.
Oh, absolutely.
Even got that fresh smell.
Yep.
I've kept my box too.
I don't know
Mine's
what it
still
is,
sealed.
but even when I buy a new book or whatever, even with the mangas, as soon as I bought the manga, as soon as it came in, because I had to order it, and then the bookstore delivers it right to my address.
Yeah.
Probably because of the whole COVID thing at the time.
Yeah.
There's something about a fresh book smell that gets me.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly what you need.
That's a little bit different. That's the base. So does that come off? Or?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a separate one again. Oh my gosh. Come on. Come on. Ooh. Oh my god.
David, are you gonna be the host tomorrow, or is Maxie?
I can be. Oh, actually, I don't know now.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Okay, let's see what you got. Oh yeah.
There she is.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got a little bit piece of plastic here. How do I take it off?
It peels
If
off.
it's under the hair, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you played with dolls when you were little too, Angelus, but you're gonna. It struck me as funny when I had to dress both of them that I had.
Oh yeah, because it comes with the outfit as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
the outfit's in there, and you got boots. You got she's got her. You can either change her boots with her feet, or you can.
Oh yeah.
It's got all kind of little bitty attachments. Yeah, there's her boots. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, be careful on that zipper too. When you're zipping her up on the back.
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh wow, that's like a really tiny zipper as well.
Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, you have to be real careful with it, so you don't tear it,
I can see why Vladi got her a whole wardrobe. Oh, and the different hands, got the fists, got the open hands.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's that one way she does her little upside down handstand split thing.
Oh yeah, you got all kinds of stuff you can do there, and I haven't really experimented with mine too much. I just got them set up, on my Alita shrine, So.
And then there's the little stick to adjust the eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm chicken to play with that. I'm afraid I'll screw it up too much. So.
Yeah, I want to see if I can get it to stand by itself. Oh, and then that one.
Yeah, Angelus Cran said congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Cran, we got to get Rido on one of these streams.
Good
Let me guess, Fat Chance.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, hope you enjoy your figure, and yeah, from my side also congratulations to your new Hot Toys.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'll probably just get her on the stand and have it displayed that way, at least for now, anyway. Geez, how do you even get her on the stand?
It's got a little, like a little little plastic like pole looking thing. You can, you insert down into the stand.
That's right. Yeah.
And then it's got a little clip you put over the top of it, and it'll hold her. I mean, she'll stand up on there, but any little bump's going to knock her down. So you want to put her in that. And that clip goes around her waist. So.
All right. So.
How many HT Elitas do you have, Cran?
Just the one.
Oh, okay. Foxy, you got one?
Yeah, I've got one. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Also kept the package from that one.
Okay, cool.
There must be some crystal plastic stick.
Yeah.
So that you can stick into the base.
Yeah, yeah.
You mean that one?
Yeah, that one there, yeah.
Right.
Then put it onto the clamp.
Yep. And you got to push that little clamp thing down probably halfway or so, and then you put it around her waist. That holds her up. And then when you take a picture of her, you want to position the camera to where you can't see that little hole.
Oh yeah, so the clamp's got like some sort of spring resistance to it.
Yep. Yeah, I can't wait to get your feedback. What you're going to say when you dress her. Yeah, for me it was a challenge. The first one was a challenge. When I got the second one, the one I won from Harkins Theater, then I already knew how to do it. But we lost Foxy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll open mine one day.
What, you don't have yours put together, Cran?
No, it's still sealed in the box.
What do they call that? Mint in box? Is that what
Yeah. We're at this.
Go ahead, Angelus.
But I can understand why people would leave it in the box, but that's more from a collector's perspective.
Yeah.
And I've never been much of a collector to begin with, so Like I always knew that sooner or later, and obviously it's a lot sooner.
Yeah.
That she was going to come out of the box. So yeah.
Oh yeah. You got to take her out of the box. There's no way she needs to stay in the box. You know, there's no way.
Yeah.
So
I just have a problem with actually opening things. I'm bad about not doing that.
what do you break things when you do it, Cran, or you just don't like doing it?
I don't know. It's like, I'll open that eventually.
Okay.
I have like special edition DVD sets and stuff, and I'll cut just enough of the plastic to pull out the movies and keep the plastic wrapped around them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh!
It's just.
I know what I wanted to tell you, Cran. I saw your
Mhm.
video on your channel of that the VHS you got.
Yes.
That was one of the coolest things I've seen on that. Seriously, I bet the video quality is probably not all that great, but
Oh my God, no.
but seeing Alita off of a VHS, that's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty nifty.
Yeah, it was.
All right. That'll be the.
Lost David. Anyway, Foxy, while we got you on here, you know, how did you discover Alita? What did you see the manga? You read that first? Did you read
No.
see the movie or anime first? How'd you do it?
It's kind of complicated. You can say I've discovered her for real once I watched the movie in February of end of February 2019.
Okay.
And I saw the trailer like a few months ago, before that, in a cinema for a different movie, and was like, okay, kind of interesting because I like simply the high concept sci-fi stuff and all that. But at first I couldn't make much out of it, you know, of the character. I had no real impression out of it. But I liked the high concept stuff, and that was what piqued my interest. And later on, before I went to the cinema, we were my friends brought it up. They wanted to go to the theater, and basically the choice came down to watch Alita or the Glass movie.
Yeah.
And so yeah, finally we decided to watch Alita, and like everybody after watching it was like, thank God we decided for that one, you know, because everybody really liked that movie, you know, and we kept talking for a while after coming out, and it was a great experience. And for me, it kept going on, you know. After that, I couldn't like really forget about it, and you know, got into social media and talking about Alita and all that stuff. Reading the manga afterwards, yeah, and all that thing. Even my friends, some of my friends also started to read Alita after that,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I got into that thing. The funny thing is, like, I almost got prior to that into that fandom, or into reading Alita, because I've seen like a decade ago or so that artwork, you know, of the Rusty Angel, and that already piqued up my interest. So that I was like considering, like, should I read it or not, because that was really intriguing. I was like really I think watching or looking at for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I was like, it was really interesting, you know. So I really liked that vibes that came off, and so, but you know, I put that in the back burner, and then I forgot about it to read it. And later, when I saw that Rusty Angel again, when I finally really read that manga, I remembered that I've seen it once. So that's basically my story, how I got to that, you know.
Yeah. Well, what is it about Alita? What about the character do you that you love the most, or that you like in the character? What kind of traits do you speak to you as far as her as a as a fictitious person, but a person nevertheless.
As a person, I think what's really like I see that thing as a constant theme in the movie as well as in the manga. She has something that pretty much like addicted is the wrong way, but you really get attached to her in a short time, and she has something that is mysterious about her, and also there are some character traits that at the first glance look like like they don't fit like really good to each other, but in a way they do. Like she has a really gentle side and a really that really nice side, but she can also be like cold like steel and in other moments, just in a flip of a switch. There are some character traits that they are so opposed to each other and they still work. And the story in where this character is embedded is kind of a type like the world is like pretty much like shit, you could say, especially when you read the manga, like very dark. There's a lot of shit going on, but that character is the silver lining that makes you keep reading and where you keep rooting for her. And even though she's very powerful, she's still in a way an underdog, and that is also very well preserved in the movie. She can trash all the people and still end up pulling the short stick, you could say, and still lose in a way, and it makes you like just that you root for her even more.
Yeah, let me interrupt you. I want to welcome Odd John Hoots to the
Hey,
stream.
John.
Hey, John.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
You missed out, buddy.
Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah, we just did Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I saw the post, but I wasn't able to get in until now. I barely even have a data signal right now.
Oh,
I
okay.
figured I'd pop in.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you did, man.
In fact, I think it's delayed a little bit.
Oh, that's all right. No, we can hear you fine. And it doesn't seem to be a delay. So anyway, well, I'll ask you the same thing I've asked everybody else. Is that how did you discover Alita? I mean, in other words, what did you see the manga first? Read the manga first, or the anime, or the movie, and then the manga and the anime, or what?
Well, for one, I did see one of the ads for the movie. The movie's how I got introduced to it, and I can't remember what movie I was watching. I like to think the first trailer I saw was back when A Quiet Place was out, because the trailer I remember first seeing was the one where Lullaby of a Soldier is playing, which I kind of brushed the movie aside after that and didn't really. I mean, I felt like maybe there was something, it's something I might go back to at one point. Little did I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
same for me with the Lullaby trailer. That's the one I saw in the theater as well.
Yes, and then I kind of forgot about it for a while, and then at one point, and I actually learned something recently about which sounds weird, but discovered something recently and remembered something recently. When I was taking Felicia to see that movie, which is the entire reason why I went in the first place, is something I thought she would like, not so much me. I watched a Double Toasted review, which they're a little biased in certain political spectrums, but I figured, why not? And they liked it, so I figured, you know what? I'll give it a shot. And I wasn't really expecting a whole lot. I had forgotten completely about the old trailer that I saw. In fact, the only reason why I remembered it is I remembered seeing the girl with the big eyeballs and the really interesting font that the movie uses for her name. And it's kind of funny because I didn't even realize this at the time, or maybe I just forgot about it. But I don't know about you guys, but I saved my little ticket stubs. Not every single one of them, because some of them were digital, but one of those ticket stubs, which was the first day that I went, which was the 16th of February, 2019. I completely forgot about this, but I actually got a refund that day to see the movie because Flea was running behind. I can't remember what happened, but something came up, and it looked like she wasn't going to make it. We were in separate vehicles at the time, and I was kind of frustrated not knowing what if I should just go in and watch it anyway or wait or all transpired. But basically, it turned out she went ahead and came along anyway. I was just going to say screw it and go back home, but I was like, you know what? Let's just wait a little while, get the refund for the time that we picked, and then catch it later in the evening. And we did. And I only even know this because I went back and found the old ticket stub and it said that it was a refunded ticket. And I was like, wow, I was within moments of completely skipping out on this movie, not once, but twice.
Oh, man.
It's like if I had left when I did, I would have never watched it.
Oh, man.
I don't know if I ever told anyone about that because I just recently realized that. I was like, wow, I forgot that I got that ticket refunded initially.
Yeah. Well, have you read the manga, John? John, are you there? I think we've
He
lost.
did say he had the connection issues, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He said he had a very low signal. So there he goes. He's coming back on here. Okay. John, can you hear us? Yeah, we're not hearing you, John. Holy moly! I guess you're.
Damn phone.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Well, now we hear you.
I don't know how long I was gone. Oh, geez.
No, you were gone maybe 20 seconds tops.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
I completely forgot what I was talking about.
You almost sidestepped the movie altogether, didn't you?
Yeah, and I almost passed on it even after watching the Double Toasted review too, which general rule not really a great idea to ignore a movie just because a reviewer says something. But at the time, I was watching them and I thought they were funny, and it was a James Cameron movie. And ultimately, besides the fact that Felicia likes anime, that's probably the only reason I actually did see it. Because I was like, well, I remember Avatar, and I remember how much, at the time at least, I loved that and how good it looked. I was like, well, if anything, James Cameron's always improving on technology. So I just kind of went in, and I just can't believe that I almost missed the movie, not just once, but twice. And I completely forgot about it. But that's how I was introduced to Alita, then some with that extra info. A little long-winded, but...
Yeah. No, that's all right. Hello, Kunstler99.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
I was hoping you'd tell us. You sell any cars today, or did anybody sell any cars today?
Oh, well, I mean, there's 5 sales today.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, not me. I'm still doing the aftermarket thing for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are some sales, but
cool. Yeah, getting back to what you were saying there, John, and then Kunstler, I'm going to ask you too about this, but your experience like that about finding out about or watching Alita is kind of similar to mine in that if Alita hadn't have been on HBO that Monday night I was in Dallas, Texas, and I hadn't seen it, I might not have seen it either, although I probably would have seen it eventually, but it was just by chance, that it was on HBO when I was in Dallas, so, it's kind of lucky.
Right.
Oh, we just lost, who did we lose? Let's see, we lost Foxfire. So, so let me ask you, John, what is it about Alita that, draws you to the character? What do you love about her the most?
Oh, God. That's a loaded question.
Well, you can take Cran's.
It shouldn't be, but...
You can take Cran's thing. She said everything.
Well, I want to say that. It sounds like there's a lot of things. It really is everything. But, actually, that's not necessarily true. There are things about manga Alita I don't like. But, or at least during certain times. But it's just... We've not gotten something like this in a long, at least I can't think of in a long time.
Yeah.
She maintains this. I can't tell if it's my microphone or what that is. Hang on.
We can still hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
it's
you.
Really, I'm getting bad feedback.
No,
it's echoing really badly.
Yeah, I think Yeah, we're getting Fox muted his mic, so there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
I didn't know what that was. But
Yeah.
she maintained, like, I think it was said earlier too, I think I could barely hear the phone, but she maintains this really, really interesting balance between being absolutely ferocious and being just adorable, or not, well, not just adorable, but docile. I'm not really sure what word to use to describe it, but sweet. I mean, it's really a mixture of all those things, actually.
Yeah.
She'd go from being like someone as peaceful as a cat just resting on a summer day, and then the next shredding you to absolute pieces. And the fact that they're able to do that and not make it seem like the two ideas are clashing is just interesting to me. And the fact that she doesn't just up and quit, when shit gets bad. It's, I mean, I've been there, done that myself. I've been there, done that myself so many times. I mean, even of course we all, I'm sure, at that point every now and then, but it's just a little reminder not to go down that road. And I like that. I mean, it's of course it's different. We're talking about not just a fictional character, but a cyborg. So it's if we're talking like it's a true story here, right? She's still a cyborg, and human beings can only do so much versus if you were to be in that kind of body. So it's like there's a completely different level of I can't take this anymore. Whereas for us, it's a lot harder, I'd say. I mean, I know that we're talking about a fictional story here, but there's so many things in the story that translate to real life that it's like, it's just amazing to me. I mean, I don't really know how to even answer the question without just trailing. But
what occurred to me though is when she finally did lose Hugo, when his arm broke, and everything, and he's falling and she's hanging there by that sword. I remember. It might have been, wasn't the first time, but maybe one of the times because I saw it like twice in that first week. I saw it, and then as soon as I got back home, I went and bought the DVD. I went and bought the Blu-ray right away. So anyway, but it occurred to me. It occurred to me when I saw her hanging by that, sword, on that cargo tube. I thought, now don't let go of that thing because her heart's broken. She's in.
That's what I was thinking. The same thing.
Yeah, I mean, don't let go of that sword. You stay alive. I kind of thought that. I may have not have thought it exactly like that, but I was a little worried. She might be so heartbroken and so, and just so depressed and sad and all that she said, "Oh, hell with it. I've lost my life."
And so many people do, and that's why I think this story needs to be told, and I think it needs to be, for one thing, appreciated more. Yes. I mean, you can argue that Hugo wasn't exactly someone that you could, or at least not easily, empathize with because of them leaving some details out. But at the very least, you can feel for her in that moment. And let me just say, the way that whole sequence, without her saying much of anything after right after the blades come down, without any bit of dialogue at all, prior to the "I love you," you see everything she's thinking on her face.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I mean, there was a little bit of dialogue. She's saying, "I'll pull you up slowly," but you slowly see that look of, okay, I think I might be able to handle this situation, just slowly crumble.
Yeah.
And quickly actually, but in that moment, it probably feels like a million years.
Yeah, and you could see on, like, I like what you said about seeing on her face when his arm almost breaks the second time and the realization hits her that he's I'm not going to save him, and you could just see it on her face. Just
that's the part of exactly.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with that. So yeah, sure, yeah. I and like we say, this is a fictitious character for sure, but it's a great story, And it occurred to me, even when I was making that video that I made here, I just uploaded, that, you say, well, look, this is a person who just wants to be happy,
Right.
And this bad shit happens to her,
And she's not even really asking for that much. That's the thing. she's not asking for, which, I mean, you gotta go get it yourself. I mean, it's not just going to be handed to you anyway. But
Yeah.
and she's not the kind to just accept.
Yeah.
But I mean, she could if she wanted to. But she's not. She's kind of honestly, and it's funny when people mention that her motivations aren't clear and that she's. I'm thinking, what do you expect? You wake up from being essentially, asleep for 300 years and you can't remember shit.
Yeah.
You're going to have so many things going through your mind, and you're not even going to have any. I mean, yeah, you'll have motivations, but you're going to be all over the place. And, there's so many things she wants to do and so many things that she wants, but ultimately she just wants to be happy with, Hugo.
Yeah, exactly.
And she doesn't get that.
Yeah.
And that's just how, and honestly, that's just how it goes. Hugo wasn't, I don't, a lot of the complaints about that dynamic, I kind of understand in the sense that, it's rushed, but it's supposed to feel that way. It's not, for one thing, he wasn't supposed to last. It wasn't a relationship that was ever going to last.
Yeah.
And I find that very, I mean, I've been in a situation not too much different, really, trying to make things work that won't. And there are certain things you just cannot force. And coming to accept that is probably the hardest part. And that's what she ends up having to do, except it wasn't done, over here with me. It's not a matter of, death. Whereas it was just taken from her. There was no ands or ifs or buts about it.
Yep.
Got chopped up. I mean, it's just, and I think that's why the scene in the movie hits harder than the book, because the manga, it's like, I mean, I did kind of feel a little bit bad for her, but not as much as I did for her in the movie, actually.
Yeah. Rosa did.
Because they did develop such a connection.
Well, you see it visually better, I think. I mean, Rosa, just the look on her face, I mean, gotta rip your heart out,
And people don't understand, like what Calagrita said, people don't understand that that's not, like, you look at her and you seeing her crying, her face just completely just, grimacing and all that in that entire sequence. That's not just a computer making that up. That is a real woman's face putting that on the screen, and we're looking at this and we have bought it. We believe it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me that things like that get ignored, And it's not to say that Alita is the only one. Alita is not the only movie where that happens.
Yeah.
To this day, I still talk about Mowgli, which I think everyone forgot about.
Yeah.
But, even which I think is almost just as impressive, because they're talking through animals, yet you can see the human emotion coming out, which is kind of weird, but it works. I don't know. Something to look into if you haven't seen it.
And puppetronics compared to computer generated animation.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Right.
Well, let me get Kunstler in here.
But
I want to ask.
They don't understand it.
Well, sure they don't understand. Well, one of the problems is she looks so real, her face. I mean, you could just see there on the screen here. You look at that, looks like a regular person, doesn't it? I mean, you don't get the sense when you're. This is what got me about the movie too. Even the first time I saw it, I was awed by those anime eyes and all that, and I thought, oh, how pretty, But what got me about it was the fact that just looking at her, except for the eyes, granted, but her hair, her skin on her face, that kind of stuff. I mean, she looks like a real person,
right?
And that to me was, that looks like that was awesome.
And honestly, the first time I saw the eyes in the movie on screen, I didn't really even have the anime thing didn't even cross my mind, despite the fact that I knew based off the Double Toaster review that it was based off a anime. I forgot about that. The first thing I thought when I saw it was, well, for one thing, they kind of give it away because she's put into a machine body. I mean, really.
Yeah.
But okay, this is a cyborg. And Hugo, I don't understand why people. Maybe it's just because they don't pay attention, or maybe it's just one of those small little details that's just kind of hard to, you could easily dismiss. The first thing he notices is her eyes whenever they meet.
Yeah.
at first I thought he was talking about her hands because he helped her up. No, he was looking at her face whenever he helped her up. That's what gave it away. And I don't look. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, John.
You know, it's amazing to me. You know, I see so many comments, and I'm sure you guys have too, where they'll go on about the eyes and why does she have eyes like that? It's like, one, you could just watch the movie. Two, she's not the only one with them. And you know, although the movie doesn't come out and just say, "Hey, by the way, your eyes are this big," because can you imagine how bad that would have sounded if they actually did that?
Oh God, that'd been horrible. Yeah.
I mean, really, like people always complain, you know, show don't tell. The movie shows plenty, and it tells plenty. It does both. Yeah. You know, and though they don't come out, and actually Hugo says something else about the eyes later on, though he doesn't, you know, say much.
I wish you could tell me what those eyes have seen or something. Yeah.
Yes, and people are like, "Oh, well, that doesn't explain it." I'm like, it doesn't have to. The movie doesn't have to explain everything to you. If you can't figure certain things out, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, let me tell you, John, one of the things
it's supposed to do to tell about your eyes, you know. People were expecting probably some self-referential jokes like in a Marvel movie, you know, but it works for a Marvel movie, but for Alita, it would have killed the movie when you do that, you know.
It wouldn't have worked in DC.
It would have really hurt it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, let me get Kunstler in here. I want to get his, you know, what he went through. What Kunstler, how did you discover Alita? What did you you know, what did you see the manga first or the movie or what? How'd that go?
Yeah, so it was the manga that I got to first. So and and it was the original. It was the volume 1 that I picked up. I had this habit of going to Barnes and Nobles and just digging into like trying to dig into a series and see if I liked it. And I think it was like the maybe like the third one that I like kind of picked up, you know, when I was like on like a lunch break when I had a restaurant job in the mall. And so, and I mean I got hooked pretty fast with that. Yeah. Like I think I started reading it and then I like, oh, I'm buying this one.
And you probably thought, oh God, I hope they make a movie, right? That's probably what you thought pretty quick, right?
I mean, I never. I mean, maybe like yeah. I mean, I would want them to, but like it didn't like come across my mind. I'm not. I mean, at the time, I wasn't like a huge movie buff of any kind, honestly. So my family wouldn't really go out to watch movies because my parents were cheap. Like we'd maybe go out to a restaurant maybe once, maybe like so. Yeah, my parents were frugal. Anyways, but I think again the why it impacted me the way that it did with where I was at was I was just I was like 15 years old, kind of having some kind of really hard times in my own life. So I connected with the character like immediately, like two chapters in, like I'm identifying with the character and being able to empathize with them like very quickly. So and that's what really got me hooked. And honestly, I think because the character is such a deep character, I think when you like whatever form you first are introduced to, like ends up being your favorite, in my opinion. Because like for me, the manga is my favorite, and like that scene with Hugo when he dies, the manga hit me harder. Like, and I think part of it is like when you're reading the manga after you watch the movie, you kind of know where that's going, you know? Yeah. And like when you hit it, you're like, oh, okay, I saw this in the movie, and I think you can kind of get attached to that and kind of hold it up almost to a higher standard. Whereas with me, how the characters developed their relationship in there hit me differently too. Because you see the flawed relationship, you see like how messed up Hugo really is. Yep. And the fact that he's not sorry, he's just like, crap, I got caught, I gotta go up. Yeah. You know, that's the thing, and he's never sorry. he's never really like, oh, I had a change of heart. I'm jacking cyborgs. He's like, damn it, I really only needed 500,000 more chips. Like, in the manga, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So, and not that I wanted to identify with that and be like, oh, that's good. It's just it was dirty, it was gritty, it was raw, and I think that's why I liked it so much. Was it really gave a little bit more substance to her naivety. That she's just following her emotions. She's infatuated with this guy and is basically going to accept him no matter how much of a douchebag he really kind of is. And that's like head over heels. Like, I'm gonna follow you no matter what, even if it was a bad or unhealthy thing. Kind of just reemphasizes where the character's at and is not in a healthy spot, And like, obviously intentions are good, but it just kind of shows how the real world really actually is. He was a manipulative a-hole.
Yeah. Well, he does get redemption at the very end, though. I mean, I think he thanks her for saving him.
Yes, and
I guess that's.
But for me, I don't need the character to be redeemed.
Yeah.
What we needed that character for was for Alita to have that grieving process.
Yep.
And even in her grieving process, it still kind of proves that she's not in a healthy spot. It's a very human thing for her to try to block it out and to engross herself in motorball to get to be outside of her berserker body and put the thing in storage so she could try to forget and try to find herself. Like that, like those are all very unhealthy ways of trying to find yourself. Like that's like adrenaline junkie. I'm gonna jump out of an airplane, so I can have this adrenaline rush to try to figure out who I am. Like that type of unhealthy dynamic. But for me, like, again, I identified with that because that's kind of where I was at. I was desperate to find out who I really was because I didn't know who I was at the time. And I was going through a lot of crap at the time. And that's something that the movie's not, like, they weren't willing to kind of go into those things because they, like, the hero needs to have a defined character that's ultimately good, and like they can't have that be in question without it kind of really detracting from some people. So I get kind of why they did that, but that is a fundamental change of the movie, that she has this intrinsically good part of her with a lot of kick-assery too. So again, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying they couldn't fit that other piece into it and have it be on probably as successful as it was. So and that's where, like, I get this. She's a wounded character. She's a character that has a ton of trauma that she doesn't even remember yet, and she's creating more trauma in her own life. That it's this kind of thing that's building, and it's how she deals with it going forward. The good, the bad, and the ugly going forward. And that's, like, I don't want to say it's like a slice of life type manga, but it's kind of that they use that drama that's real raw drama that people go through when it comes to loss, when it comes to trying to find yourself, being desperate for a purpose and a meaning. Those existential crises that at some point we all deal with, we all ask those questions, and we all find our own answers for.
Yeah.
And we get to see that journey in a very sci-fi, cyberpunk, body horror type.
Yeah, I guess my thought about when I said that Hugo was redeemed, I'm like you. I don't think he needed, for me, the redemption wasn't a requirement. That was just an observation,
Yeah.
But I would say that with Alita, to your point, where, she's been asleep for 300 years. Now she doesn't remember. much of anything except maybe the very ingrained Panzerkunst training she has, and now experiencing this loss of Hugo, that she's now damaged, isn't she? I mean, she's think about it. She's kind of in a way, since she's, that doesn't remember anything. She's really naive, and now she's been damaged by, losing at that point in her life, the love of her life,
Well, it's also a loss of confidence in her own strengths.
Yeah.
It's a loss of, being able to control her environment. Like, she had this big confidence boost of having the berserker body, and her feeling like, oh, like this is me, and then it said, no, this is not me. Like she still has a lot to figure out about herself.
Yeah.
Like she's, she wasn't strong enough to save anyone. Really.
Yeah, she's yeah, I agree with you. I remember seeing that very end scene, when she's in the locker room, and she slices a tear in half and looks in the mirror, I was looking at her like she was, I think I said this a while ago, but like she's my niece, and you just want to hug her, because, she's so sad, and you want to hug her, and try to make things better or whatever, but
and at that point too, she wouldn't, like, the character in that moment would not want that either.
No, that's right. Exactly not.
And I think that's that point where now in the manga, she's already kind of become cold. Like her heart's already like ice at that point.
Yeah.
But like, so, cause when she loses Izdok, like she didn't cry. It was a pipe leaking in the book.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't a tear that she was cutting. She was already cold about it. And it was kind of reinforcing how cold, calculated, and how badass she still was.
Yeah.
And in the movie, I think it's symbolizing her putting her emotions down, her shoving them down, and it's foreshadowing I'm cutting that off, I'm moving forward, and I'm not going to let myself feel anything.
Yeah.
And I think they're trying to portray that coldness coming.
Yep.
And
I agree.
Yeah, obviously, again, it's done in a different way, and it's done with a lower intensity than what the book kind of shows.
Yeah.
But they were getting to the same points.
Yeah, I like the fact the movie didn't explain everything. I kind of like that. I'm not stupid. I can figure it out.
Right. And I like things being open to interpretation.
Yep.
When it comes to things that you're able to keep open for interpretation.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good one to kind of leave people with, is that, she's honestly, I don't want to say it was like because look at this, when you had like, not to compare it to a Marvel movie, but when you have Infinity War, like at the end of that movie, it was a bad spot. Like you're like, what the hell? And
yeah.
I don't want to say that this movie is there because I think it's showing her resilience in moving forward. But at the same time, like most of the characters you meet in this, like over half of them die.
Yeah.
So, and most of them are people that you are kind of like, oh, they're kind of on the good side, kind of, and it's Shirin, at some point, they kind of want you to empathize with her, and she's changed. She's good, but technically, she's not dead. She's a brain in a box now. But,
Yeah.
But I mean, all other purposes, she's kind of dead.
I love how you just casually say, "Oh, she's just a brain in a box."
The manga does that. It makes you.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Normalizes it.
Well, technically, Alita's a brain in a box, although she can walk around and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's
that box is attached to a cyborg body, but
yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're a brain in a sack of meat. I mean, you can say it that way too.
Meat popsicle.
Meat pop. Yeah, but
Oh,
so
Cran.
one thing that you were saying, John, about like how in the movie it's she obviously has that badassery, but she's got like this like cute or like docile type thing, this kind of calmness and sweetness to her.
Yeah.
It like in the manga, obviously that's there still. You still have those like kind of comic relief type moments where like when she's doing Hugo's laundry and she's kind of having that sweetness that's there. And Cran, I know you would remember this. It kind of remind you remember the manga Gunslinger Girls?
Yes.
It's very much kind of like those characters as far as like they're brutal, lethal weapons, but they're still kids. And like they had all this training and brainwashing to be assassins,
Mhm.
but they're literally still like 8, 9, 10-year-old girls.
Yeah.
It's kind of that same feel, at least in that part of the story.
Yeah.
So that's, and I think the movie and the manga matched that pretty well. It's obviously it going forward in the movie and in the manga. I don't think you can have that kind of sweetness there. She's always going to have the kind of barbed wireiness about her later.
Yeah, John had brought up. How you doing? Glad you're back, John.
Hello.
Yeah.
By the way, is
Anyway,
there an echo?
yeah. Anyway, John brought up a thing about when Hugo helped Alita up, and he kind of looked at her and he sees her eyes, and he kind of notices her eyes, and that's kind of obvious. But I also think, because he was kind of talking to her, and when he picked her up, or he actually helped her up, and he looks at her, and I got the feeling he was thinking, "Oh my God, you're pretty." That's kind of what I thought he was thinking too. I mean, yeah, definitely noticed the eyes because that definitely kind of stunned him. But I think he felt like, that, whoa, Now I don't think his interest was piqued 100% until she said Ito found her in the Ito found her in the scrapyard. Now he thinks, oh my God, she's from Zala, and I think that's what really
I
hooked
think
him right there.
I think he latched. I think he was interested in the beginning solely in the hopes that maybe he could get something out of her because of how valuable she probably was.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what the whole thing was. Which you know what? In the manga, now I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong, and Kunzel, you might know. I don't remember. It's been like 2 years since I've even read the first volume. Now I've not reread it. Guilty, but.
That's all right.
I don't. Did Hugo ever express the idea or thought of, taking her for parts or no? Because I don't remember if she did not. I don't think
I don't
so.
think
But I don't know.
not in the manga. I don't believe I remember him doing that.
No, and in the manga,
I think he kind of just ignored her.
Yeah, that's what he did. He ignored her.
Yeah,
in spite of her
Okay.
chasing him.
he was kind of just going about his business, and his business was, I'm stealing spinal cords.
Yep.
And because they pay $50,000 for it, and and he obviously he wouldn't kill people. He would make that phone call to Ito to like make sure that people wouldn't die. So in that aspect, that was like his only ethical code he wouldn't break. Is like, oh, I'm not going to kill them, but at the same time, like, oh, these people are dead. They got spinal cords. I'm taking them.
And
Right.
the only
I
thing
always
why
kind of
why
wondered.
why he ignored Alita is, of course, because it was Ito who rebuilt her, and I guess he did it out of respect for Ito that he didn't go after her.
That could
That
be
might
true.
be
Yeah.
why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a very
That would make
specific
sense.
scam too. I mean, it's not like they basically it's whoever they could get into the back alley in like taser and whatever. I mean, again, it didn't look like it was super organized. Like I don't think that part was like super defined. It was a very early story arc within the manga, but it worked. It worked for the purposes of Alita having that loss. Within one volume.
It all serves her development.
No, exactly. I mean.
Yeah.
And what I really like about it, though, is that even in all the way into Last Order, like she still never gets over that loss. Like even like, and I imagine even like when she's like back from Venus in Mars Chronicles, that it's still something that impacts her at that point, even her like not being the brain Alita, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
So
that's actually kind of why I agree with Starvillian about feeling that the Figure 4 romance was rushed. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, because I know there's that time gap of like, what, 10, 15 years between when she lost Hugo and all, and I actually kind of had a little bit of a disconnect, not totally, but a little bit of a disconnect between when she started Motorball and Into the Toon Dark. I still like understood why she was the way she was. I couldn't necessarily relate in every way. Obviously, I'm not, I'm depressed as hell. I'm not going out and slaughtering motherfuckers, unlike her. But I understood where she was coming from, but I couldn't exactly relate with some of the things that she was doing. But, oh, damn it, I had a point with that. I was getting somewhere, and I completely lost it.
well, and I
That's
think
so annoying.
I don't think most people could relate to that extent with her either. But that's because of the fact that, I mean, essentially she was a slave to Zalem for 8 years, like 8 years at that point, and that's like, and that's a huge amount of time. I mean, that's way longer than most people would survive.
Oh, you just reminded me of what I was on about. It was about Figure. I got sidetracked somehow, and you got me right on back on it. It was about the time gap. Was that I found it weird that she turned as cold as she did because of losing Hugo, which I understand why that impacted her as much as it did, because that was what she knew. I think Ray said that last week or the week before, was that was it's almost like she had been born again in a way, and hit the reset button, and that's what she knew, and she loved what she knew in that time. And so when she lost it so quickly, it was like, well, fuck, and lost what she felt like was everything. Now, we all know that, there were other people. There was still Ito, which she left, and I don't really like that she left him. I thought that was kind of dirty, but I understood it. She wasn't in the right state of mind, and no one is under those kinds of circumstances. I'd imagine.
And let's be real about this, though. She, like, the amount of time that she has existed by that time is, I mean, you're talking about not even a full year. Like, even when you're looking at the manga, you're talking maybe like 6 months by the time you get to her having this, the start of the relationship, or even at the end. So, but look at this. I mean, at some point, I think we've all had a relationship when we were younger, where we thought it was like we put everything into it. Like my first girlfriend I had since I was in 4th grade to sophomore year of high school, and like for me, that was like, I mean, it was a really long relationship, actually, for a first relationship. But like that was one where I, like, when that ended, for me, it was like tragic. Like, my life was over in my mind.
Oh,
like,
God, yes.
You're you're like a sophomore in high school, like, and this is all you've known for 6 years. Like, is this person that was like, you shared everything with, and just done. And that's one that changes you. That's something that, like, I think, like, the end of your first relationship is a huge lesson learned, and there's scars that are there, but it's like you kind of know, like, oh, okay, I effed up. Oh, okay, they're terrible. Or, like, you find out more about yourself. Through your soul or heart being shattered to pieces. So, and we're seeing the direct aftermath of it. But again, I think it's also because of the subconscious and her trauma that she has had from when she was Yoko, that really kind of shapes where she was going with it. She was consuming herself with battle, She was, but also it's because she knows when she's fighting, she has those fleeting moments of remembering her past.
Yep.
And
All
it's
right.
all escapism, and it's all trauma. It's all like what people who have PTSD do at some point.
Yep.
know?
Can relate.
So it's like, again, it's like writing wise, it's done very beautifully.
That yes. That
we
that
might not
is.
like
I agree
it.
with you on that.
It's but it's kind of like when you watch the movie Shawshank Redemption. It's a damn good movie. There's
Yeah,
some
it is.
horrible shit that goes down, but it's the experiences that you get when you're watching that. You're like, that was beautiful. That was artistic.
Right.
That was, and that's the thing. Art doesn't have to be happy. Like you can have these tragic components to it, and the fact that you can connect with it and experience it and feel a certain way, even if it's bad, can still be beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what I like
like
about
that.
this property is it doesn't shy away from it. It like dives so deep into it that you like buckle up. You're on a wild ride. Like,
Yeah. One thing I wanted to address, though, that John had brought up, and then now I'll give you back the floor, because he mentioned that time frame. I know I believe it's the last volume in the Last Order, somewhere in the beginning, where she goes up to Zalem, I think, and she's talking to some of these people around there. There's a reference in there that it had been 14 years since she was in Iron City, or the scrapyard, and to that point. So that led me to believe that she has been, well, first of all, that means that she's probably in her early 30s, maybe even mid 30s, probably early 30s, but she has been carrying that hurt around for 14 years. Now, kind of Figure 4 kind of, he kind of helped reduce that a little bit, I guess.
But you see, that's the part that I had a problem with in the manga, was that she's been carrying that, which I understand why she's carrying it around completely, but or at least I didn't like Hugo, but I understood. I emphasized more with her loss in the movie than the manga, to be honest, but I understood why she was the way she was. My only issue was that if it's that traumatic and it's that painful, why? I mean, maybe I've not experienced the shit yet. I don't know, but you think that she wouldn't have dived so quickly into, I mean, not that they even really had, I wouldn't even say the relationship even lasted that long, really, but, I mean, it's hard to tell. The way the manga does time and, pacing, that's one of the things that's weird about manga. It's kind of hard to tell how much time has passed sometimes. Yeah. But and even the movie had a little bit of that problem, but it didn't bother me that much.
Yeah, you wouldn't really know
I
how
never
much.
understood that.
Yeah.
Well, I know she'd been waiting
you wouldn't know how much
10
time.
years.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
I'm not trying to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Crane's over here like, damn it.
Yeah.
But you think that after 10 years and carrying that around, which I'd imagine at that point she'd probably, I imagine you probably want to be with somebody, right? But at the same time, it's like she's still so messed up over all that. And not just that, she also lost Ito. So there's that too.
Yeah.
I just always found it weird how she jumped into that. So what felt at least so quickly.
Yeah,
I don't
think it was that quick, because and like to your point, John, you can't tell. The only reference you have of time frame is that reference at the beginning of the last volume of the Last Order, where she says it's been 14 years since. But you really don't have a good feel for how much time. But if it was 10 years, like you said, it could have been 8. Could have been 12, who knows what.
Like, I can totally see them, like, at that point being really close friends. I mean, he saved her life, too, so there's that. But she, not too long into the, right into the middle of the Toon Dark, she's over here making promises and stuff. I'm thinking, you've not known this guy very long. You don't want to make the same mistake that you made the first time around.
Yeah. Same
That's
mistake we
what
made with
I'm
Hugo.
trying to
The
say.
thing is, like when they meet in a tuned arc, I mean, it's not like they are together for a continuous time. Like they always have some kind of breaks where some time passes and they meet again,
Yeah.
experience new stuff. So
True.
they met several times over a certain amount of a certain period. It's hard to tell if it is just a few weeks or months even.
Yeah, that's right.
And you know that the thing what makes it interesting. I mean, I get it when you say like Hugo was such a big impression in her life. Like it was her first love, you could say, and I can understand why she keeps remembering about him because it's her first love. Like for most of us, we would
You
always
don't forget
think
that.
back to that. You know, that's a normal thing. So he
And the
will
longer
never
you drag
like
it out, the longer you
completely
remember it.
leave out of her life, even if she meets like Figure. But what Figure did for her was he understood her very well. Like he, in a kind of way, experienced similar things with cooling down and stuff. And his character point was basically exactly to break through her wall. Like he knocked so hard and so many times against her until he broke that wall. And he was really bent down, and he had also the receipt or the tools to do that, you know. And he tried several times, like even with the first when they meet the first time on that train, he had to try like several times until she opened up, until she even like recognized him, you know. But what makes this character work is that he doesn't give up, you know, that easily, and
Right.
he knows he can break through, and he has the tools. He had to try just a lot of times until she even recognized him, and at one time she realized that something is about him, you know, not just his fighting style, not just his being like stubborn as fuck like she is, like they are both stubborn as hell. But the thing is, like, she realized at the time that even if he's not as powerful as her, but mentally he's on par with her. And when she realized that, that's the moment where she acknowledged him and let his influence grow on her. And when she really became like interested in him, you know, that she finally met somebody who can who is on par with her, who can look into her eyes, and you know, and understands her on ways nobody else could do. Hugo couldn't do that.
Be on the
Ido can't do that.
same
Nobody
wavelength.
could that. They're on
Well,
the
I
same
think
wavelength. They're both warriors, you know, and they both went through a lot of shit. They both lost a lot of people, but he had something that she didn't have at that time, but what she needed, and she realized that at that time, like he experienced the same shit, but he came to different conclusions, and she is stuck somewhere, and he
He
helped her
handles
to
it
go.
better than she does.
Yeah.
She does handle it because he learned something that she had yet to learn, and he was another catalyst for her growth, and so that was basically the angle where she became interested in him, you know.
Well, you know, one of the
And
things about him too is that, you know, I think, and this might be shallow on my part, but she does literally kick the crap out of him. I mean, she beats him down big time, stomping him in the mud and just beating the crap out of him. And he keeps coming. And to your point, Foxy, I think that was her first inkling that what is it with this guy? You know, I think that that was kind of the first nail in the coffin, as they would say.
And we need more of this. We need more. Not just movies. We need more content in general like this. There's not enough of it nowadays. It's just the same old shit. And frankly, I think, especially now, I mean, even before, you know, the current state of the world, I'd say it was extremely needed then, because people are so, you know, just either depressed or, you know, just overworked. They need something that can, I'm not really sure what the right word is for it. I mean, boost morale? I don't know. But
escape.
I think especially now would be the perfect time to go forward with some with more stories like this, because I'd say it's needed now more than probably ever.
Yeah.
You know? And I love that just the whole dynamic between the two. I didn't really like Figure that much in the beginning, but after talking to you guys for such a long time now, going on 2 years at this point, I actually came to really like him. I didn't really appreciate him at first until of course, there are some things that also happened to me along the way that kind of changed some dynamics. And I kind of was like, get your shit together, John, for one. And two, it's just, I came to appreciate it and made the way that she handled things a little bit different, or the way she handled some things differently later on also made an impact. And I think that's also what made the ending of Last Order so damn sad. I don't know if this is a spoiler stream or not. If it is, shut me up. But if it's not, shut me up.
I'm kidding.
Well, I don't know if everybody. I mean, we don't have that many people watching now, but we do. We got 7. But anyway, I guess don't spoil, but you can kind of skirt around it a little bit.
I'll worm my way around it. But
yeah.
What happens at the end of Last Order between her and Figure?
Yeah.
And or I should say, what didn't happen? That's what makes that all the more tragic. Cause it's like you went through all this. This person, all showed you. Of course, that's not to say she didn't take it to heart and won't continue to live that way.
Yeah.
But it's almost,
realize
at least to me, it
later?
felt like she gave up in some ways. It's like you gave up the very thing that you wanted just so you could keep on fighting. I don't understand that. I've never.
It makes
I'm
her
not saying
really
that's bad for
great.
that, by the way. Say again.
I think it's one of the aspects I like of the manga. The whole gray of everyone is, you can argue if what she did was that selfish or selfless.
Yeah, that's
In my
right.
opinion,
I think it was selfless.
Selfless.
Yeah, I don't think it was selfish at all. And by the way, that's one of the things I've heard some people make the whole argument. Alita doesn't need a man thing. It's like, dude, that's not. I don't think that's what Kira was trying to say there.
Yeah.
We all know Alita is independent. That's one of the reasons why I think everyone in here likes her, because she is independent. She can fend for herself, and she can think on her own. But the decision at the end was just like, I get why she did what she did. Or at least there's some things that are, hinted at least, because obviously.
Well, let me say this, John. Let me say this about that. To tease the manga a little bit, it does happen for and it doesn't happen for with Figure. So but I'm not going to say any more.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
But it's as far as the Alita that we know.
Yes.
That's the whole debate, though. Who is the real one, right? But,
somebody pointed this out with an old Superman story. I'm not sure what name he uses anymore, but he just pointed out that there was Superman Red, Superman Blue. They're both the real Superman. They just go different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm trying to remember. It was like, because he was saying it sounds similar to Last Order because one of them goes there one way, one of them goes another. And I think the writer's intent seems similar to what Kishiro's doing too. It's like, I want more. Kishiro's like, I want more than one ending, so make there be an ending for Mars and an ending for Earth. Why not?
I mean, I think that's a good perspective, but I also see it's kind of like the butterfly effect. Like, you can be the same exact person in very small differences within your reality can lead you a completely different direction.
Well, you can also become a different person.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly. Exactly. So now, and sorry, because I had to drop off stream because I had a phone call I had to take. But to kind of go back to the whole Figure 4 thing, and in my opinion, in the manga, when you look at how much time has passed, especially when you're looking at it from the artist's perspective or the reader's perspective when they were first getting these comics, is these books took a while for you to get to the next book because you'd have to wait for them to write it. So you had this experience, this lingering of this loss, and then you had probably waiting a couple of years for the books of going through the Motorball arc to get to through the the Berserker Pan arc to
Right.
then get to that point. And one thing you'll notice is she says something on the train where it's like, careful not to get too close to me. Basically, you're going to die at a young age, which also leads to believe that Figure 4 is not the most recent try for a relationship. Maybe.
Yeah.
There's a lot that has passed between 8 years. Maybe she has tried to get close to someone and she wasn't ever able to because they would die.
Or it could just be
That's true. That's a good point.
And all that.
Right, it could be that too, but there's a mystery of the 8 years that we don't know what she was doing or what she was up to.
True.
But we do know that, at some point, that's so many days of being in captivity, having the voice of someone in your head from Zalm. 8 years of having that guy's voice in your head, of him bending you to basically submit to him, So that's a lot. That's a lot of at some point mental torture, kind of giving up. She was probably even losing hope of ever seeing Ito again. Obviously, but what was carrying her through of trying to find Nova was she wanted to see Ito again. And, for me, when I was reading it, because when you read it, especially when you're not like binge reading it, it takes you a while to get there too when you're reading it like a book. So for me, I don't think it was rushed. I think it was one of those things where she knew about people well enough to know that his character, who he is, was different. And she was willing to kind of put that gamble there. But I also think that she's also so guarded at that point that kind of no matter who she loses at this point, it's never going to hurt her the same as it did with you.
It kind of. This is actually one of the reasons. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I was just going to interject a little humor here. I think what she does in that 8 years is she meets the Creek when he's 614 years old.
Right.
And then you go, that's 300 years isn't old.
That's right.
614's old.
The whole thing about her, and you mentioned one of the things she said on the train about don't get too close to me, Figure 4, or Mr. 4, if you care to live long or something like that. It kind of she's always kind of reminded me ever since even the movie kind of, but more so the manga. She really reminds me of Wolverine, Logan, because it's the same type of thing with him. Everywhere he goes, no matter what he does, no matter how powerful the guy is, he's always losing the people that he loves because of the certain things that he surrounds himself with. And she surrounded herself with, essentially, well, I don't know about war, but it's, violence constantly. And so usually you're going to lose somebody if you live your life around violence. Live by the sword, you die by the sword, right?
Feel defeatist, you're not going anywhere either.
Or as far as Alita is concerned, you live by the gun, you die by the gun.
Well, I guess. But.
Well, and again, that very kind of Japanese style of committing to like how you carry yourself out. It's a very kind of rigid thing, and that's very present with her character, though. Like once she goes to that extreme, it kind of stays there. It kind of stays true to that. She's following the path of the warrior, too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that carries through when it comes to her relationships. When it comes to it's never going to be the main focus. Like with Hugo, she was naive. That was her world at that point. That was like, even when she was doing the Hunter Warrior stuff, she was like daydreaming of Hugo. But when it came to Figure 4, like she was beating his ass. Like just straight up broke his nose. And honestly, that was one of my favorite panels. Is when when he's trying to strike her and she just goes wham, right to the nose. Like,
Yeah.
one of the funniest panels I've seen out of that.
Yeah,
whole-
his reaction was when he went after her like that was like his reaction was sort of like, "Oh crap, she's fast." That's
Yeah,
kind of what I think.
and I think it was him never giving up, him always doing that. I'm not done yet. You haven't won yet. Like that's kind of what won her over. Was
Yeah.
the, you know, this dude did all right, should probably be dead, but he's not giving up. So
You know, the thing about this, and this is why I'm actually have more hope because of the Calagritas talk that we had with her about Toon, because it seems like they're going that direction with the movies. I really, really hope we see that. But that's one of the reasons why I want to see that. And I hope that at some point, I don't know what Yukito, I don't know if Mars Chronicle is going to be the end of the series or not. I think Yukito said it was.
It is, because Kishiro said he wants to get working on Aqua Knight again.
Damn it. So that's probably going to wrap up soon.
Well, hopefully we'll get volume 7. So that.
Because I'm really hoping that at some point maybe he goes back to Alita someday and decides to fill in some of the gaps, during her time as an agent. I really am curious to see what all happened during that time. You only get to see a little bit, and I think what was it, Holy Night?
Yeah.
So a couple of those chapters.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't own the book. I've only seen a little bit of it, but
a little bit. And I think, wasn't it like, I forget exactly what character it was, but like I thought it was like one of the deckmen. Like, wasn't it about like one of the deckmen?
Yeah. The deckman was playing
shot
ball or
him.
something with some kids on the beach.
Yeah, and she shot him.
Yeah, but I think that was pretty much it. They don't really explore that. I'd be curious to see what all she dealt with during that time. And honestly, I kind of one of the things I loved about the original series was you got to see a little bit of normalcy, and at least, well, as normal as it gets in Iron City, I guess. You got to see how she interacted with like other people in the world around her, besides just the people that are fighting. Like the thing that I loved about Alita was that, she'd go down there to the Kansas bar and she'd sing, she'd be reading books, be doing things that like people like us would be out doing, I kind of miss some of that stuff, but I know that that's not the path she's on. So it's like, I
don't know. There's a lot of things that go on, but in a writer's perspective, they always feel that there's a small amount of the whole time that passes that matters most.
Well, and I think you get to the point in the manga too where it's like she's trying to create a normal life, and then like it becomes very apparent that she's never going to have a normal life, and it just her purpose in that like changes, and like pretty much from volume 5 on, there is no normalcy.
Right.
It's constant fighting, constant.
But
battles.
that's the thing that makes me sad about it, though, is that it almost is for a character. For a character that never gives up, the thing that always bothered me was that it felt like, in a way, though she doesn't give up in a fight and does prevail, most of the time, it still at the same time, on a certain level, felt like she did give up in some way, because you're a machine, you're built for war, you have PTSD, but you can still have peace, but she never felt like she would ever get it. Or at the very least, she was so attracted to violence, or not attracted, I shouldn't say that, drawn to it, which the movie even makes a note of that.
Yep.
That she just can't get out of it. And I hope at some point, I don't know where the story's going to go. I don't know how it's going to end. But I know not everybody thinks that, well, I hope it does, but I know not everyone wants this. I kind of hope she does have at least somewhat of a happier ending by the time it's all said and done. I don't know.
What if she decides to finally just use her name of Yoko or something? I don't know. That sounds random.
I mean, you have to look at it like that way. I mean, for Alita, it's not just like she's drawn to that conflict like the movie says. It's more also, even if she's not going to conflict, the conflict is coming to her. It's her destiny. It's her destiny, basically. It's attached to her soul. to her very soul. Even if you consider the Last Order ending, you see that it is attached, not like the problem or the fate is not only attached to one part, and the author lives in peace from now on. And you see that it's something like, you could say it's like simply the writer who wants to torture her, but it's destiny that follows her, and the destiny says like she can't have peace. Either she's doing an error, she's doing a mistake, or she's doing something that gets her in trouble,
Right.
or like I said, the trouble comes to her.
Look,
Like
either
in the
way,
time when she is, like at the time she is when she is in Iron City, and she had some years of peace, and then the shit happens with Zapan, where the trouble came to her, and she couldn't do jack about it. She didn't want to fight ever
yeah, it
again.
seems after Japan, everything went tits up.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
It's in her
after
nature,
that, after that happened with Iron City was the moment when she realized that there is no real place that she could call home. Iron City was the closest to that, and the people turned against her. They were willing to sacrifice her to save themselves.
Mhm.
And after that,
They made her the scapegoat.
she made her a scapegoat, and she lost, hope that she will ever find a peace or a place where she can find peace.
Yeah.
And then I think
Right.
it also kind of depends on what you define as like, do you like, as far as peace, like sometimes having peace is knowing your purpose, knowing your identity, knowing who you are. Like, just because you're constantly in battle, if that's your purpose, then you might be at peace with that. Like, again, I think that's even kind of up to interpretation, because at this point, especially with where it is in the manga now, I mean, it's not. I mean, it doesn't seem like she has any consistent, people, or consistent, like, people that are around her other than Zazie and like.
Well, I feel like. Go ahead. Sorry.
The supporting cast from Earth is gone, yeah, but maybe one or two might come back. Who knows? The thing I was
feel
going
like
to mention
Hito
earlier,
doesn't really know where he's going to go with her as far as the present timeline is concerned, and because she's always felt to me like she's kind of just, especially once student starts, just kind of aimless, just goes wherever the wind takes her, and whatever happens during that time, she deals with it, whether it be good or bad.
True.
I just hope she gets a happy ending. I mean, I know it's not really that kind of story, but I think, good Lord, after all the shit she goes through, I mean, come on now.
I've got a feeling Yukito Kishiro is going to go full fan fiction. Trust me.
Say again?
I have a feeling Yukito Kishiro is going to go full fan fiction.
What does that mean?
With the ending.
Like he's listening to the fans on kind of what they want.
I think the ending will be really weird. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't know. She might just go and I don't know. I just hope she doesn't either just die or just go off herself from all the sad shit. That's what I'm hoping we don't get.
Well, I mean, I think there's so much left that needs to be handled with Erica. There's so much left that needs to be like talked about with like her past. Like I think he's still got a few volumes for him to like wrap up kind of what this is. I don't think this next volume is going to be it, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't think he could.
I don't think it will be.
But
because I think he's gonna do a partial reunion at least, because I think the ARs are coming back. I mean, like Elf's Wolf Sex or something at the next month. And even if you were gonna do that, you kind of have to give a reason for why they come back, or why they even care.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I could.
I mean, all I'm saying is that there's gonna have to be at least some side story if he's gonna bring back any of the Earth characters. I think he's gonna bring back Ito, maybe, or maybe Zex Elson's Wolf, possibly. I'm saying this is going to go to Ragnarok.
I kind of see my issue is like I kind of don't believe that he is like giving her a bad ending or something where she simply dies in a horrible way or whatever. I think he has still a tendency to give her somewhat of a rest that leaves people maybe satisfied. Like, I mean, the first ending was kind of a happy ending, you could say, maybe not that happy. The
Well,
second ending is kind of a bittersweet ending where at least some parts are like satisfying. And then you have like this last thread which keeps going into Mars Chronicles. I can't see that he like offs that story in a unsatisfying way. You know what I mean?
It'd be really interesting if he, went and started writing stories about the version of Alita that goes off with Figure. I'd be really curious to see where that goes. See how she
Yep.
adapts to living in a normal body. Like,
I
that
see
would
it
be
happen
really fascinating, I think.
I see it happening briefly. If you want to at least
Like,
see
something
how
happens to the other version, and it reverts,
something. I mean, I'm just saying, if anyone from the Earth cast or the old series cast ever comes back, there's going to be a motive for why it happens, even if it's just a brief side story.
Well, and here's the thing too, because in the Last Order, you have the two. You have the brain Alita that's got the flesh and blood body,
right?
That basically is reunited with Figure, and then obviously you have basically brain chip Alita, which did got the the full on crazy like 2.0 body. So you like, what if that's almost like a direct metaphor of did she lose her humanity in some way? Like, is that sweet part of her, that sweet like innocent Alita part of her, is that the flesh and blood Alita? Like, is that the symbolism of like her humanity, like her? Because again, obviously, you see the journey. You don't find that out until the end. That's brain chip Alita, until like that part of it. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying it's kind of a thought. It's like, is that a metaphor? Is that like a direct like saying like this isn't the same person? This is why she is so dark. This is why things have gone this way. Is that she's not that Alita.
What's funny is there already has been a split character, and the two splits became different people over time. I believe you met them both already.
Right.
Den and Chaos, yeah.
So, but at the end, Den and Chaos kind of become the same person again. It's
not the same person anymore.
Well, no, I mean, neither of them are the same from where they were, but basically it's the sum of the two. Like what was Den at some point, he has to take ownership of, and he is his own self that's different than the two separate. It's
perhaps
like it's like the summing of the two. It's like a mathematical equation. At some point, 1 + 1 becomes something completely different than each of the individual parts.
Maybe.
So that was my perspective of it.
Or maybe if you take off a piece and grow it and try to put it back together, it's not the same as what it was.
Right, or like you take two completely different plants, you graft them together, it becomes a totally different plant from either. It's
maybe.
Well, it's kind of like twins. Twins aren't. I mean, they look alike. Identical twins.
Oh,
but
I know.
They're different. So.
All right, and again, a lot of that has to do with just you could literally be the same biologically, like identically biologically there, but the different circumstances, the minor different circumstances, create you to be totally different people. Because literally being identical twins in the same household, you almost have the same situations, almost, but the small little steps change a person drastically. This is why I like this manga so much. It's so deep, you can go down the rabbit hole, and there's so much to go down. Like, we don't have answers, and this is just one piece of like the bajillion that's in this book of how psychologically deep this is.
That's what she said. You can go so far down. No.
Oh,
Oh
no.
Lord,
Nah.
oh Lordy. Well, guys, we're coming up on 3 hours here.
Oh, yeah.
So, but God, I didn't welcome Radio Chaos.
It's
Sorry
fine.
about that. Yeah. Really great discussion, man. It was super duper, So, but anyway, thanks for everybody for coming on and and joining in the discussion itself. And at the risk of going a little bit further, did we miss anything? I mean, is there any quickly? Is there any kind of topic or concept in this that we perhaps maybe missed totally, or maybe I didn't give it enough due attention, or what? Did anybody think of
We
anything?
didn't miss anything. We just need more characters like Alita in the world.
Yes, we do. We need more Alita, is what we need.
Yes.
So I know that's what the Creaky wants. He wants that whole franchise. I want at least 4 movies. I want a series, and I certainly want Volume 7 of Mars Chronicles. And because man, there is some surprises in Volume 6. Holy moly! About her origin and that kind of stuff. But anyway, can anybody think of anything?
Mm-mm. No. Well, not for me anyway.
Okay. Well, anyway, this is Our Lady right here. This is the one that made it happen in the movie. I mean, she, God, just her ability to act, even down to what we talked about a while ago, the facial expressions, just conveyed so much, and it really, really gave us a, kind of a window into Alita's soul, if you even want to think of that, I mean, she did a superb job, and as I always say, she is number one in my book, Jack. I mean, she is it. I mean, if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't. I don't think we would have as good an Alita. And I think last week or week before we talked about some of the other actresses that tried for Alita, and they would have all done probably a pretty good job. But I think Rosa. She definitely knocked it out of the park. I mean, she put it in a baseball term or cricket term. I don't know. Did he hit the ball out of the park in cricket, Angelus? I don't remember.
Hit it for a 6.
Hit it for a 6. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, she definitely did that, I think. And, of course, as I always say, why is this image here? Well, it's because Creek is running the stream, and it's because he likes it. And I'm only here for our girl, and we're all the Alita Army. We're all here for our girl, for sure, So anyway, that's pretty much it. I guess, David, I guess we do need to talk a little bit about what we're going to do tomorrow. So, so you can kind of get onto the Alita Army YouTube channel and, kind of latch onto that, to episode 68. And I don't have an updated, this is just the placeholder thumbnail right here. But, basically what we're going to be talking about, and I don't know if Angelus or if Maxie's going to be the MC there or the host, but, we want to try to describe Alita in a very few words. Now if that would have been what we did today, we would have failed miserably because we all, had so much to say about Alita. It's going to be hard to describe Alita in a few words. But anyway, we're going to try to do it. Okay, so anyway, thanks to everybody, Radio Chaos, for coming on. Odd John Hoots, his battery ran out on his phone. That's why he dropped off. Certainly Foxfire, he came coming on, and let's see, Kunstler, thanks for showing up, and getting on the stream with us, and we appreciate that too. And Cran, we always enjoy having you on the stream. Even if we don't get our customary FUs. So anyway,
do you want one? Do we want one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait. As long as you keep it short.
Oh God.
Fuck you.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, guys. So anyway, thanks for being on the stream, and we'll see you next week.